BYU men's volleyball program. The Volleydons have a chance to knock off the #1 team in the country as tonight the Cougars from Brigham Young University come to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center in the opening home match of the 2008 season. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Moss. Welcome to CATV's coverage of IPFW men's volleyball. I'm joined by Women's Associate Head Coach Steve Florio. And Steve, number 10 against number 1. You can't ask for a much better opener.
No, it's a great thing to have here in Fort Wayne, the #1 team in the nation coming in to play the runner-ups in the national championship. So it should be a great match tonight.
This is a match, the 8th time I should say, that IPFW and BYU have gotten together, but the last time was back in 1996 here at the Gate Center. BYU walked off the floor with a 3-1 win. Each team's going to start 5 seniors tonight, Steve, and each team is going to start a senior setter.
That's right. Graydon Ainsworth will be the setter for IPFW, and this is actually his first time setting a team for the Volleyball, his first season. He sat the bench to Colin Lundeen last year, who, as we know, led the team to the national championships. But look for Graydon to put up a good-sized block. He has a real fundamental style. It's very safe and sound, and he puts up a real hittable ball. So he should do a great job tonight for them.
Real briefly, how much pressure is there on IPFW, even though they're playing at home, playing #1?
Well, I think the pressure's on #1, wouldn't you? I mean, as a #1 team in the nation, you got a target on your back every time you take the court. The Mastodons already lost, and BYU hasn't. So Mastodons have that off their back, and they're the underdog in this because they're not the 1 team. So I don't think there's a lot of pressure on the Dons as much as pressure on the Cougars.
We're looking forward to a great match. It's the letter match. IPFW and BYU, number 10, number 1. Stay tuned. Starting lineups on the opening serve. Coming up next, right here on CATV.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Everybody, and welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW in Fort Wayne. Along with Women's Associate Head Volleyball Coach Steve Florio, I'm Mike Maz, and we welcome you to tonight's men's volleyball match featuring the top-ranked Cougars from Brigham Young University and the 10th-ranked Volleyball of IPFW. Starters are being introduced for both teams, and we'll briefly give you BYU's very quickly. Their setter is Brian Congelari, a 6'2 senior from Newbury Park, California. In the middle is Trent Sorensen, a 6'7 senior from Palmdale, California. On the outside is Yvonne Perez, a 6'4 senior from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. In the middle, Russell Holmes, an All-American candidate, 6'8", a senior from Fountain Valley, California. At the opposite position is Jonathan Charette, a 6'2 senior from Fullerton, California. In the outside, Andrew Stewart is a 6'6 sophomore from Sandy, Utah. And the libero was Leandro Justin, a 6'1 sophomore from San Jose dos Campos, Brazil. The head coach in his 2nd season is Sean Pacho. And for IPFW, their starters, the libero was Matt Plisky, a 6'3 sophomore from St. Charles, Missouri. On the outside, All-American C.J. Macias, a 6'4 senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Also on the outside, Brock Ulrich, a 6'6 senior from Winfield, Illinois. In the middle, a freshman, Oliver Cook, 6'6 out of Hamburg, Germany. Also in the middle, Josh Stewart, a 6'8 senior from St. Mary's, Ontario. The setter is Graydon Ainsworth, a 6'8 senior from Unionville, Ontario. And on the opposite position is Jason Yost, a 6'4 senior from San Diego, California. The head coach in his 28th year, 2007 National Coach of the Year, Arnie Ball. Steve Florio, this facility has electricity. as we're getting ready to start this match.
Oh, yeah, what a great crowd. I bet we're going to have 2,000 before the night's out. I mean, it's almost standing room only as it is. We're packed to the hilt on both sides, all the way up to the upper deck. And, you got the defending national runner-ups. 4 games they lost. They had the Dons were right there, just about at the knocking on the door of a national championship. You got them right here in their first home match since then, and then you got Brigham Young, who's ranked first in the nation this year. So you gotta love Fort Wayne. You gotta love how much they know volleyball and how much they appreciate a good match, because this is about as best as you're gonna get right here.
BYU is going to wear blue uniforms with white trim, white numbers front and back, white letters, gold trim in the front, the letters being BYU, except for the libero. IPFW wearing the white jerseys, blue trim, blue shorts, blue numbers front and back. IPFW won the toss, and it's Oliver Cook, a 6'6" freshman from Hamburg, Germany, that will serve first. We played a 30, rally point scoring, a point on every serve. We played a 30, win by 2 in games 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we have to go to a game 5, it's played a 50, and again, win by 2. And the first swing of the night from Andrew Stewart is good, and BYU takes the early 1-0 lead.
And their first attack comes out of the back row. It's a set called a pipe, and that's run right through the middle of the court, and the middle back player usually hits that.
Brian Congealier, the setter, with the serve for the Cougars. Jason Yost is blocked at the net nicely by Trent Sorensen. We go back to the left side, and Brock Ulrich knocks down the kill, and we're tied at 1.
And that's something that Graydon Ainsworth is going to bring to this Mastodons team, is his ability to push a ball really high and really far, because he's very, very, very strong. He set that ball from about 25 feet off the net and put up a real hittable ball.
Jason Yost will come up with a left-handed jump serve, and that is dug out. Congealier going left side, little defensive return, free ball chance for IPFW, and Josh Stewart. Oh, nice dig that time by the libero, Justin, and the Cougars come away with the point.
It's a nice, that was the play, that rally right there was the dig by the libero for Brigham Young. It was a great swing by Josh Stewart and a great set by Graydon Ainsworth, but a better dig.
Yvonne Perez, a 6'4" senior with a jump serve, dug out by Ulrich. There is Ulrich on the left side, and that is dug out. And tipping it at the net is Ulrich. It looked for a second, Steve, like Charette just was frozen there at the net.
Well, that was an overset, and what that means, basically the setter on the other team sets it over the net on accident, and Brock went up real aggressive but got a piece of the net.
So the point goes to BYU. They're up 3-1. Wow, powerful serve that time. Free ball chance. Oh, a lift call. I believe that was on Charette.
And it looks like they were having a little trouble with Perez's serve. They really couldn't get a good pass up to the setter, the Dons. So that's a lucky break to be able to get out of the serve by Brigham Young messing up.
And here comes the corkscrew type serve from Brock Ulrich. Dug out. We go, nice block at the net. Stewart and Macias tag team it. We're tied at 3.
What was particularly great about that block was the fact that CJ was able to get up and what we say, turn the block in, so that when it hits his hands, it deflects towards the inbounds part of the court rather than out of bounds.
Ulrich with another jump serve. Dug out nicely by Perez. Stewart's block attempt, however, is wide at the net, and the Cougars retake the lead 4-3.
And just as I was explaining there, if you go up to block the ball and it hits your hands and it goes out of bounds, it's a point for the other team. So turning the block in, aiming the block towards the middle of the court is very important. And there, Josh Stewart hit it off his hands and went out of bounds. That's known as a tool, by the way.
Trenton Sorensen with his first serve of the night, and he serves it long, a service error. And once again, we're knotted up, this time 4-4. We will see the 6'8" senior from suburban Toronto, Josh Stewart, with his first serve of the night. Little floater. Congealier going left side and coming through off the touch.
Yeah.
Stewart will get credit for the kill.
He just threaded the needle down the line there. It's a nice hit. I thought they had it locked up down there, but I guess not. And we're going to get our first look at Oliver Cook here from Germany on the Dons.
Charette with a left-handed serve for BYU. Macias on the left side, and that is blocked. Plisky keeps it alive. Short set, putting it away is Cook. Off the short set from Ainsworth.
It's a good job of Graydon mixing it up, using different hitters. You know that CJ is a two-time All-American. All the other teams are going to be camped out on him, so Graydon's going to try and find his other hitters.
Speaking of Graydon Ainsworth, he now has the serve. He throws it high in the air and serves it wide right. So IPFW commits a service error.
Both teams are serving really aggressively, so we should see a decent amount of errors. Just it's the nature of the game, because they're going to try and really get a lot of action off their serve.
Andrew Stewart with a float serve, handcuffed Ulrich. Yost is blocked at the net. Ainsworth, not the best of sets, and Macias cannot get it over, and BYU now takes a 7-5 lead.
Well, it was a great choice by Graydon, and he just didn't execute it, but it was the right idea. He just missed the set.
And our score is 7-5. Cougars with the lead and the serve. Ainsworth, setting up. Wow, they picked it up in the air.
And that's the advantage of having a tall setter right there, is he's able to go save passes that would particularly go over the net. He's able to get his hands up before it crosses the net and goes over.
7-6. The BYU lead has been cut to 1, and here is C.J. Macias, the senior All-American out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Big serve, dug out, and long, but BYU thought they got the point. Russell Holmes thought he had a kill, and it's not the case. We're tied at 7.
Just sailed a little long, didn't have a whole lot of topspin on it. Both teams are trying to establish their middles early on.
Another Macias serve. Congelera setting up Perez. Plisky couldn't dig it out cleanly, and BYU retakes the lead 8-7.
You know, that's something that you don't see on a lot of men's games is Brigham Young, although that was a really good set, the hitter chose to roll it and just give an off-speed shot and mix it up a little bit. It just keeps the defense guessing.
Russell Holmes got the break, ball hit the tape, and Ulrich wide of the mark on the return, and it's 9-7 BYU.
Right now, early on in this game, IPFW is struggling a little bit on their serve receive, and they just need to tighten up a little bit, because when they get in the set to the hitters, they're getting the job done.
Service error by Holmes.
That's another way to break serve.
That's true. Volleyball close to within a point, 9-8, and Oliver Cook will start the second rotation serves for IPFW. Dons going from left to right here in game 1. Stewart, battle at the net with Congelera, and who's going to get the point?
Well, they're calling a net violation on Josh Stewart. It was on his follow-through. He hit the ball, and then his hand followed through and hit the top tape of the net there.
That's a second net violation by IPFW here in game 1. Dan Hauser, our Don official, talking with IPFW head coach Ernie Ball. I'm not sure what about.
Well, here's where Dons need to turn around. They need to get a pass here. That'll do.
Float serve, the set for Yost on the right side, and Jason comes down with the kill. Jason Yost gets a chance to serve now. He had 14 kills at Ohio State last Friday night in the season opener. IPFW lost that match 3-2, losing set number 5, 15-6. Yost with a jump serve. Dug out by Stewart. We go to the right side, and off the touch, Ivan Perez will get credit for the kill.
Well, speaking of Yost, he brings a great dimension to the team because he's a lefty. As far as I know, the only lefty on the team. And he was able to take the right side, and they were able to move CJ. The Dons were able to move CJ over to the outside, and that's what led him to the national championships.
Ivan Perez tapes the net. Plisky digs it out. Ainsworth for Yost, a little defensive return. Free ball chance for BYU. A little dig shot, and diving for it unsuccessfully was Jason Yost.
That's 3 kills for Brigham Young off of a off-speed shot, a tip or a roll shot. They're hitting it hard, they're rolling it, they're hitting hard. They're doing a nice job of making the IPFW Mastodons guess. What are they going to do?
Yvonne Perez, an All-American candidate, continues to serve. Ulrich with a dig. Ainsworth setting up Stewart. Oh, nice dig by BYU. And somehow IPFW keeps it alive. Here's Macias. And off the touch, the Dons win a long point, long rally.
And I'll tell you what, that's a great dig by Jason Yost because it was a deflection off the block. It's, you know, if you ever watch hockey, it's very hard for a goaltender to make saves on a deflection. And that's the very same thing. He's ready to play defense on a hit, hits the block, changes direction, and he's able to adjust and still make the dig.
I'm sorry.
No, nice presence of mind for Macias to go up and wail away on it.
IPFW up by, or I should say down by 2, and BYU is having trouble. Nice dig that time by Yost. Ainsworth setting up Macias on the left side. Oh, keeping it alive that time is Perez. IPFW going to try it again. Stewart with the kill. Josh Stewart, that is.
Well, the last 2 points are due in part to great defense, and both times Jason Yost with 2 great digs in the last 2 rallies, and those are making a difference right now in those points.
Ulrich will serve for the tie, and he slams it into the net. Volleyball service error.
You know, but the Dons make up some ground there, and they do it in a good way by playing defense. Good defense can frustrate a team. As long as they keep playing tough defense, you'll see Brigham Young trying to be a little more perfect with their shots, and that's when errors start to happen.
Trent Sorensen to serve for the Cougars.
There's a good
pass. Out by Macias. CJ on the return pass off the touch, I think. At least the Dons are asking for a touch, and they're going to get it. So IPFW closes once again to within a point at 13-12, and now BYU coach Sean Pacho not thrilled with the call.
Well, the up officials have to go with what the lines judges call, and the line judge called a touch, and that's the way it goes. You'll see throughout this match, it's going to happen to both teams. Both teams will feel they didn't get the fair call, but it tends to even out usually.
Josh Stewart serving for IPFW. And coming right back with a big left-handed swing is Jonathan Charette.
That's a great swing. Again, threading the needle down the line. It's always a good place to put the ball. It's a hard dig to make because you're really talking about 15 feet between you and the hitter, and that's you don't have much reaction time there.
Charette out of Fullerton, California with a left-handed serve. Dug out by C.J. Macias. Ainsworth going back to C.J. on the left side, and it's blocked nicely by Russell Holmes. And we have a timeout on the floor. 15-12 our score. BYU on top. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Hilliard Gate Sports Center, along with Steve Florio, I'm Mike Maas, and we are in Game 1 of our best-of-5 match featuring top-ranked BYU and 10th-ranked IPFW. And Steve, thus far the Cougars have the upper hand slightly as they lead by a score of 15-12.
And I got to tell you, though, there's good news. The good news is IPFW is capable of a lot better volleyball than they're playing right now. They've had a few net violations. They've had a few mistakes that shouldn't be mistakes. They've let a ball or 2 land that they really probably could have dug. That's all right. I mean, first home match, they're getting some of the jitters out probably, playing in front of this big of a crowd. First time since last year they played in front of this crowd. They have there's room to improve, and they're capable of doing it, and when they start really getting all cylinders firing here, they'll be in good shape. So 3-point deficit is really not that bad.
Jonathan Charette will continue to serve for BYU. Macias, that's dug out. We go the opposite side, and Boy, big swing that time by Charette.
Tell you that, out of the back row, that set went, a good 5 feet outside the antenna, and he's a lefty, and he was able to cut it way back cross court. It's a really hard shot to make.
Biggest lead for the Cougars, 16-12. Ulrich digs out the serve. Ainsworth setting up Macias left side. And that is dug out by Ivan Perez. Little block at the net by Oliver Cook. Perez again, and off the touch. Cougars get the point.
Well, what's going on here is the Dons just need to tighten their passing up a little bit. Everyone's camping. There's a triple block on C.J. Macias every time because the pass isn't really there, and so it's obvious it's going to go to him, and it's making it really hard for C.J. to get some work done.
Cook! Short set by Ainsworth, and the Dons get a point.
And that's what a good pass will do. A good pass allows the setter to work from what is known as target, and it's an ideal spot where the setter doesn't have to run to get to the ball, where he can just set from where he's standing, and he'll have all his hitters available. And when that's the case, it's very hard to triple block anybody because you have to sort of stay true to your hitter.
Ainsworth serving in the middle of the net. Perez digs it out, and the Cougars miss-hit it. Second consecutive point by IPFW, and they pulled it within 3 at 17-14.
And that's a break that the Dons need, and they've given a few of those points to Brigham Young, so Brigham Young owes the Dons a few of those points. So it'll leave it out, and the Dons seem to be getting some sort of rhythm here. So
another jump serve by Ainsworth. And that goes in the books as an ace. Andrew Stewart unable to dig it cleanly. And BYU calls their first of 2 allotted times out. Gives us a chance to let you know that for tickets to IPFW athletic events, you can call 260-481-6000, or you can go to the IPFW Athletics website at gomastodons.com. Basketball tickets are also available at the Coliseum box office. Discount packages are available in family 4-packs, also for senior citizen Saturdays as well. And bring your group to the hoop packages. Again, 481-6000, the phone number for tickets to IPFW athletic events. 17-15 our score. IPFW trailing top-ranked BYU by just 2 in game 1 of our best-of-5 match. Cougars got their season off to a good start last weekend, defeating UC San Diego twice, 3-0 and 3-1, and IPFW not only started their regular season, they started their conference season with a tough 5-set loss at Ohio State, where I think if you talk to the coaches and the players, Steve, the Dons felt that they actually gave the Buckeyes the match because they won sets 1 and 3, and they were serving at 28-25 in set 2 and let it get away.
Yeah, they felt that they broke down a little as the game went on, and I guess you got to give it to Ohio State in that match. Ohio State had to stay with it. They had to jump on the opportunity when the Mastodons broke down, and they obviously did. But back to this match. This match is coming down to passing. This match is coming down to passing, and right now IPFW is starting to break down Brigham Young's serve receive.
Graydon Ainsworth will continue to serve for the Dons. Dug out by Stewart. We go back to the left-handed swing of Jonathan Charette, and Charette gets it down.
Well, Charette is just hammering the ball from the left side there, and the nice thing is he's hitting out of the back row when he's doing that for the Cougars. It's nice to have a lefty coming off that right side.
Ainsworth setting up Cook again, and this time the swing is, well, they get the touch, I guess. Brian Himmelsgarn is our up official.
Well, it doesn't even matter if it was in or out because the down official called Brigham Young in the net, but I think it was in anyhow.
18-16, C.J. Macias to serve. Booming serve, dug out by Justin Libero. Ivan Perez off the hands of Ainsworth. And the Cougars go back up 19-16.
The Cougars are having a lot of success hitting down the line. It's a lower percentage shot than hitting what's called cross court. Hitting straight down the line, you have a little less room to hit, and it's a harder shot, and they're doing a great job with it.
Service error by BYU gives IPFW not only the point, but the serve. And here is Oliver Cook out of Hamburg, Germany, starting the 3rd rotation of serves Off the top of the net, dug out by Andrew Stewart. Short set that time, and a big swing by Sorensen.
It was a one-on-one situation. IPFW only had one blocker up on that attack, and definite advantage to Brigham Young. Anytime somebody can have one blocker on you, you have the advantage.
Brian Congelier, the setter, serves it into the net, so IPFW gets another break.
Well, Brigham Young's starting to make some of the mistakes that IPFW made earlier, and they're opening the door. See if IPFW can go through.
20-18 the score. Now here's Jason Yost. Going the opposite corner. Dug out by Justin. Battle at the nets, won by Josh Stewart.
And that's a hard set to make. The setter's about 7 or 8 feet off the net, and he's trying to still set his middle hitter. And the odds of that set being successful drop the further the setter comes off the net.
20-19. Yost again with a jump serve. Dug out by Andrew Stewart. Congelaire going left side. Nice dig that time by Macias. Ainsworth to Ulrich. Change of pace shot, and that is dug out. And a block at the net by Stewart, but it's blocked wide, and the Cougars get the point. IPFW's chance to tie goes away.
Well, yeah, it's a good run, though, by the Dons. The serving was strong by Jason Yost, and it gave the Dons some opportunities. Now they need a good pass here. And a good pass is when the setter doesn't have to run for the ball.
Ivan Perez with a big serve. Congelaire setting up Perez, and boy, he split Plisky and Macias. 22-19, and Arnie Ball decides to call a timeout.
It is a well-executed play there by the Cougars. They had the middle hitter go up for a first tempo set and had somebody coming through on the pipe.
Now, thanks to some yeoman work by Sports Information Director Rudy Jovich, we're able to get you some numbers right now. BYU hitting 393, IPFW 250. And leading the way for the Cougars. Now, we'll tell you more about that after we tell you about our sponsor tonight. It's 816 Pint and Slice, located at 816 South Calhoun Street in Fort Wayne. For fine pizza and drinks, it's 816 Pint and Slice. Now, as we started to say, Ivan Perez with 6 kills. And Jonathan Charette, we think, has 5. And for IPFW, Oliver Cook with 4. And CJ Macias with 2. So again, it's 22-19. And each team now has used up one of their 2 allotted timeouts in this game.
Well, as you said, Brigham Young is hitting 393 at this point in the match, and that's excellent. You can compare your hitting percentage to the batting average in baseball. 300 is quite good and sort of the watermark, sort of the benchmark. And so Brigham Young's hitting 393. So if you just compare that to baseball, it's really very, very good.
Granted, the season's young, but through the first 2 matches, they were hitting 365. And Ivan Perez got the break. The ball hit the top of the net and trickled forward. So it goes in the books as a service ace, and BYU now is up once again by 4, 23-19.
Really important that IPFW can get a pass that Graydon Ainsworth can get his hands on and run Josh Stewart.
Perez, big serve, dug out by Plisky. That's correct. And off the touch, IPFW gets the point.
Well, that's about all Graydon had on that set because the pass made him run all the way to the sideline and he had to use his back row attacker. Ideally, again, you want to pass the ball to Target. Target is about 2/3 of the way across the net there. You'll see where the Brigham Young setter is. He has to run forward a bit.
Boy, what a swing of Charette.
And another line kill for the Cougars. I'll tell you what, they're really picking that line shot apart, and that is not an easy thing to do.
24-20 now. We'll see Trent Sorensen serving once again. Again, this is game 1 of our best of 5 match. Number 1 BYU, number 10 IPFW. And into the net goes the serve by Sorensen. And coming in the lineup for IPFW is Dan McNerney, a 6'5 senior from Long Grove, Illinois. And he will serve.
Dan McNerney brings a lot of good energy to the court. He's he's a leader on the team, and he has a great serve. That's what they struggle with.
Congeler setting up Charette, and that's that ball was in the air, and BYU got the point, Steve. I honestly don't know why.
They called a net violation on IPFW's block, so it was a pretty good dig, but no chance to even play the ball after that. The block was in the net. Look for the Dons to tighten up just some of these unforced errors and look for a closer match from here on out.
Ainsworth setting up Macias on the left side, and it's blocked by Russell Holmes at 6'8" and with long arms. 26-21 BYU.
And again, there's not much place for CJ to go when there's a triple block on him and he's hitting the ball from 5 to 10 feet off the net, and it starts with the pass.
Float serve.
That's a little better.
Ainsworth again for Cook. That short set from Graydon Ainsworth to Oliver Cook seems to be working. Cook now with 5 kills.
Unfortunately, if the pass is too far off the net, it's very hard to run that first tempo set there, the quick attack. And so the goal for the Dons should be for the rest of this match, try and keep Graydon Ainsworth closer to the net so he can set his middles.
Daryl Shank, number 6, is a 6'5" freshman from London, Ontario, Canada. He comes on the floor for the Cougars. Ainsworth serving. Free ball chance, Macias, and right off the bat, Shank gets a chance to get his hands on the ball. Macias gets another dig. Oh, what a play that time by Yost! And IPFW is going to come away with the point. What a play by Jason Yost!
Okay, well, what the call is there. Well, what had happened was the Brigham Young attacker. Okay, let me clear up what's going on here. In that dig that went over the net, there's a rule called the pursuit rule, where you're allowed to run around or outside the court and then bring the ball back to your side of the court. But when you bring the ball back to your side of the court, it's got to pass outside the antenna. It can't pass inside the antenna and over the net. It's got to come outside the antenna. And Yost's ball, he brought it back inside the antenna.
So BYU actually does get the point, but great effort. And now Andrew Stewart puts it away, and it's all of a sudden 28-22 BYU. And 2 points away from taking game 1, and coming in will be Kent Tuttle, a 6'4" freshman from El Dorado Hills, California.
This is a blocking substitution. They're taking the setter out of the game. There's no setter on the floor for Brigham Young right now.
And Andrew Stewart with a flat serve gets the point, and all of a sudden it's game point Cougars.
Looks like the number 6 for Brigham Young. That would be Joel Silva. Will be doing the setting.
And thanks for correcting me. I looked at the wrong roster. IPFW gets the point.
There's a line kill by Macias. It's a great shot. It's almost impossible to dig. And also when you swing line, you give yourself an opportunity to deflect it off the hands of the block and out of bounds. Just the ball has to be there for you to be able to do it.
CJ Macias serves long, and game 1 is in the books. BYU takes game 1 by a score of 30-23. We'll take a break, get ready for game number 2. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
We've all heard of blackouts, when the power goes out and no one has heat or electricity. We've also heard of whiteouts, when a storm is so bad you can't see anything but the whiteness of the snow. But how many of you have heard of a pinkout? Join me, Susan Alderman, on IPFW Up Close, and you'll learn what a pinkout is and how basketball and breast cancer go hand in hand. That's IPFW Up Close, Sundays at noon on College Access TV.
Welcome back, everybody, to CATV coverage of IPFW men's volleyball. Game 1 of our best-of-5 match here at the Heritage Gate Sports Center in the books, and the top-ranked team in the country, the Cougars from Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, defeat the 10th-ranked, win over the 10th-ranked IPFW Volleyball 30-23. And Steve Florio, numbers that catch your eye?
Well, numbers that catch my eye that jump out. Brigham Young for game 1 hit .469, and if you remember, I said you can compare a hitting percentage in volleyball to that of a batting average in baseball. They're quite similar. Success rate is similar. 300 is sort of a good place you want to be, and having said that, Brigham Young is hitting .469, so you could just imagine a baseball team hitting .469. That's pretty dang good. And then you have, on the other side, you have IPFW hitting not too bad, but .276, but that's a big difference, and that's a number that jumps out to me. IPFW just needs to clean their serve receive up, and what I mean by that is when Brigham Young serves, IPFW needs to pass the ball in a way that Graydon Ainsworth, the setter for IPFW, doesn't have to run too far away from the net. And there you see Coach Ball talking to Graydon. He doesn't have to run too far away from the net, because the further the setter gets away from the net, the more predictable the offense gets, because he is more limited with who he can set the ball to. And the other team knows who his options are, and so the further he gets off the net, the more obvious the set he's going to make. There's less deception, and so Brigham Young can sort of camp out on the most obvious hitter, and in many times that's CJ Macias. And so CJ has 10 attempts, but he only has 3 kills. He's been blocked twice, and that's just because they know he's coming. So if IPFW can get Graydon, the setter, a little closer to the net, he'll be able to start using his middle hitters more. He'll be able to start using other hitters. He'll be able to distribute it and keep Brigham Young's block a little more honest. But it all starts with the first touch, which is the pass, and we'll see what they can do right here.
Russell Holmes, 6'8" senior from Fountain Valley, California, will serve for BYU. Game 2 is underway. Ainsworth going to Yost, and Yost comes down with a big swing.
And that's it right there. It's a great pass. Graydon Ainsworth could work from what we call target, and you can compare that to a quarterback working out of the pocket when he has all his receivers to look at and time. And that's what Graydon Ainsworth had, and he got it to an open hitter who had a one-on-one situation, which is advantage hitter.
Yost with a left-handed jump serve, dug out, and here is Charette, and somehow the Dons keep it alive. Get it over, and we go with Yvonne Perez. And Perez, who last weekend, Steve, was not with BYU. He was with the Puerto Rican national team as they qualified for the 2008 Olympics. Comes through with that kill.
Well, you can see why he was with them. He's really quite good. He's hitting over the top of the block right now. He really can jump.
Ryan Congealier with the serve, and IPFW with the point.
It wasn't the best pass, but it was up. It was close to the net, and Graydon, being big and tall, was able to go up, save that ball from going over, and get it to his middle. So far, 2 sets for IPFW, and 1 to Yost and 1 to Stewart. So already they're starting to distribute the ball a little better than they did in game 1, and that's got to do with the better passing.
Brock Ulrich with the serve deep in the backcourt, dug out by Justin the libero. Charette with a dink shot, and it's off the fingertips of Stewart. Macias couldn't catch up to it. We're tied at 2.
And there's Brigham Young again mixing it up. He did not have to tip that ball. It was a good enough set he could have swung on it, but he threw a changeup just like a good pitcher in baseball. Fastball, changeup, fastball, changeup.
Yvonne Perez will serve. Throws it high in the air. Dug out by CJ Macias. Ainsworth for Stewart. Blocked, I believe, by Andrew Stewart. And the Cougars take a 3-2 lead.
Well, still, it's good that Graydon is trying to run his middle hitters. Again, it's going to open up CJ as the match goes on. They're not going to be able to camp out on him like they have been, because they know that Graydon's trying to get it to a lot of different people.
Another Perez jump serve. They're serving it at CJ Macias. We go to Yost, and that's partially blocked, but blocked wide. That time Sorensen and Stewart tried to tag team it. And we tied at 3.
And this is what IPFW needs. They need production from other players. They need Graydon to try and set other players. But again, the pass dictates a lot of that. But that time wasn't a good pass, and Graydon did a good job of still forcing it to someone.
Well, knuckleball served by Josh Stewart. Nice dig that time by Yost, and Ulrich flips it over. Angelier, and blocking it was Macias at the net, denying Sorensen a kill.
Tell you, Yost is bringing it on both sides of the ball. He's playing great defense, and he's already got 2 kills this game. He's really a difference maker right now for the Dons.
Josh Stewart again with the float serve. Angelier going back to Charette. And boy, Jonathan Charette tonight, he had 7 kills in game 1 and picks up another one there. We're tied once again at 4.
Well, you know, and he's mixing it up in the way of the angle he's hitting. Right there, CJ went to take the line shot away that he's been hitting so well, and so he just slammed it cross court. He's doing a nice job of hitting around the block.
Sorensen, deep serve, free ball chance possibly for BYU. Perez, oh, nice block at the net there by Cook. Charette, blocked by Macias. 3rd time for BYU. Ainsworth setting up Cook, and the point is IPFW's.
Well, it's the right set.
They're going it wide instead. I thought it was in.
It was the right set. He just missed by an inch. And it was a good pass by Yost. You have to give it to Brigham Young. Good scrappy defense there, and they were able to just hang in.
Sorensen, another serve. Ainsworth going to Macias on the left side, and that is blocked. Sherratt and Holmes combine. And Arnie Ball calls a timeout. 6-4 BYU. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
You have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gates Center. 6-4 our score here in Game 2 of our best-of-5 match. BYU on top. They won the first game 30-23. And as we said at the outset of our telecast, Steve Florio, this is the 4th time in the 28-year history of IPFW volleyball that they have taken on a team ranked number 1 in the country. The first time was on the road at USC. The second time was here against UCLA. I believe that was 1994. And in 1999, we know because Ryan Perrott was on the team, they took on the Flyers of Lewis University. And the Dons lost to both USC and UCLA, but they did knock off Lewis. And now here tonight, they're taking on BYU.
And BYU is saying the IPFW, you're going to have to find someone else besides CJ to get a kill.
And Trent Sorensen off the timeout serves long for a service error.
Right now, the story of this game is Brigham Young is dialed in to 2-time All-American CJ Macias. It's very clear that their game plan is to stop him and make IPFW score with other players. So I think they're going to have to do that.
Here is the 6'8 senior setter, Graydon Ainsworth, with the serve. Confusion at the net. Chance for the Dons. Ainsworth going to Yost, and that's dug out wide. And BYU tried IPFW's recipe as Andrew Stewart went towards the IPFW bench, but couldn't get it cleanly. And we're tied at 6.
And another kill for Yost. Boy, if Yost can keep bringing it the way he is, it's going to eventually open CJ up. They're not going to be able to camp out on him. They're going to have to respect Yost. They're going to have to respect the middles for IPFW.
Big serve. Stewart digs it out. And unfortunately, Oliver Cook's block attempt is wide. 7-6 BYU. Jonathan Sherratt will serve. And he serves it wide. Once again, we're tied at 7. And unofficially, that is the 7th service error on BYU tonight.
Like I said, the Dons have more in the tank. They're capable of better volleyball than this, and I know they're going to be able to bring it. And Brigham Young's hanging around, letting him hang around.
C.J. Macias with a wicked serve. Ivan Perez couldn't handle it cleanly. And the Dons take an 8-7 lead. No, I think it's almost imperative, Steve, that IPFW wins game 2. You want to go into that 10-minute break tied 1-1 as opposed to being down 2-0. Stewart returns to serve, and Sherratt with the swing. And is that
well, it hit off the block and hit into the antenna. So the ball cannot hit the antenna. The antenna is out of bounds. And off of the IPFW block into the antenna, so point Brigham Young.
Tied at 8. Ainsworth setting up Yost. Change of pace shot. Dugout. We go the opposite way. Sherratt hammers it, and it's long. Cougars asking for a touch. They're not going to get it.
And, you know, that tip by Jason Yost, he sort of had to do it. He mistimed that set a little bit. But the nice thing about that tip is the setter for Brigham Young played the ball. So if he plays the first ball, he obviously can't set the second one, and that means somebody besides the setter is setting the ball.
Congealier setting up Perez. Dugout. Oh, I'm going to say that Macias actually lifted the ball up on the dig attempt. It kind of handcuffed him.
Yeah, you know, if the ball comes to rest, that's called a lift, and it did sort of stop in his hands. And just to clarify, you're allowed to double contact the ball on the first time over the net, but you're not allowed to lift it.
Russell Holmes with a good serve. Ulrich blocked. Ainsworth. Yost, and Perez slams it right back at Jason Yost, and BYU retakes the lead 10-9.
Yost didn't really have anywhere to go with that ball. That's what's called a trap set, TRAP, trap. And it's when the set is low and tight to the net, and it's very easy to block.
Ainsworth going to Yost. Blocked at the net. We go the opposite side for Ulrich. And that is dug out. Tip shot by Stewart. IPFW comes up with a dig. Block attempt wide. A little bit long, I should say, too, by Congealier.
And that's a way for CJ to get some kills, is out of the back row. We really, the Dons really haven't gone to him in the back row as an option. They've gone to him as an emergency, but there, I think they've used him as a legitimate option, and the block wasn't able to get up in time, and they got the deflection.
We are tied at 10. Jason Yost with the serve. They just get it across at the net.
And those are the type of points right there that the Dons can't give away to the #1 team in the nation. They had an overpass, which is considered a free ball, and off of a free ball, the receiving team of the free ball has the big advantage. So when you give it right back like that, it's not a good thing.
We need to get it in. Long swing that time by Ulrich, and BYU now has taken a 2-point lead, 12-10. Here in game 2, Cougars won game 1, 30-23. And Congealier with the serve. Ulrich digs it out. A little trickery, and is dug out by BYU. Here is Perez.
And they get a break. The Dons get a break there. It was a nice tip by the Dons because it was not a good set, so they had to do something with it. They were able to save it. They got Brigham Young out of rhythm, and not a good set for Perez to swing at, and he blasted it out of bounds. So good break, and here's a chance for the Dons to tie it up.
Brock Ulrich, a little corkscrew type of serve, and he serves it wide. 13-11, Brigham Young with the lead and the serve. Ivan Perez playing his first match of the season. Big jump serve. At the net. Stewart blocked by Ainsworth. Perez going right side for Sherratt. Tipped up. I think it was Josh Stewart. To him or Macias.
And, you know, what the Cougars did there is called playing scrappy defense, just saving it before it hits the ground. But the Dons block just stayed focused and stayed with every attack. And nice job by Stewart to hang up there and put it back.
Once again, IPFW trying to tie the game. And a block this time by Cook. And we are tied at 13.
And that's a huge block because Cook was one-on-one with the attacker. And again, the attacker has the advantage when he's one-on-one with the blocker. So nice job by Cook to come out of a disadvantaged type spot and get the point.
Boy, this crowd is into it now here at the Gate Center. Josh Stewart, little float serve. Dug out by Andrew Stewart. Sherratt, dug out by Yost. Angelier setting up Sorensen, and it's off the hands of Ulrich, and BYU takes the lead.
Nice job of Brigham Young running their middle hitter. Again, they had the one-on-one situation at that time. They did convert.
Sorensen, big serve. Ulrich digs it out. Ainsworth, wow, for Cook with a sidearm swing.
Well, wasn't textbook, but it worked. Presence of mind by Cook to play it. That ball was actually set below the tape, and it was a great job of Cook to get it up and over and not make a hitting error on that. And not only did he save for a hitting error, but he got a point for the Dons. Good break.
Ainsworth, big serve. Perez digs it out. Angelier setting up Andrew Stewart. Dug out by Ainsworth. And I think a lift's going to be called on Jason Yost, and that gets Arnie Ball off the bench.
You know, what Arnie's upset about is he's been not calling hands all game, and all of a sudden he calls hands on that one play. And I think Arnie's feeling there's some inconsistency there.
Jonathan Sherratt with a left-hand jump serve. And it's long. We're tied once again, this time at 15. There'll be a break between games 2 and 3, and during that break, we're going to talk with IPFW Athletic Director Tommy Bell briefly about an event taking place on Saturday, February 2nd called Pink Out. And we'll tell you more about that as we go along. CJ Macias just long with the serve. It's an error. And BYU retakes the lead 16-15.
I'll tell you, Mike, the crowd is really getting into it right now. It's great. I mean, it is standing room only in here. There's not a seat to be found, and I mean that. I'm not exaggerating at all.
Ainsworth setting up Macias. Perez with the dig. We go the other way. Plisky keeps it alive for IPFW, and now what are they going to call? Net. You had Yost and Ainsworth near the net, and I think one of them touched it.
What they're calling is a center line violation. They're saying a player went over the net, went over the center line, excuse me. You're not allowed to go on the other team's side of the court.
Ulrich dug out by Stewart. Sherratt off the touch, gets the point, and all of a sudden the Cougars are up 18-15. IPFW calls their second timeout, and now we will have a chance to invite you to get out to Pink Out Saturday, February 2nd at the Memorial Coliseum in honor of breast cancer survivors. Wear your pink shirts, sweaters, shorts, socks, even shoes, and come out for an afternoon of great basketball as the Mastodons take on North Dakota State in a doubleheader. The women's game tips off at 1 o'clock, and it'll be followed by the men's game at 4 p.m. A portion of each ticket sold will be donated to the American Cancer Society and Francine's Friends Mobile Mammography Unit. Get out to Pink Out February 2nd. Once again, we'll be talking with IPFW Athletic Director Tommy Bell between games 2 and 3 and get a little more information about it. Steve, BYU, every time IPFW has either tried to serve for a tie or when they've gotten a tie, serve for the lead, they've come back with the response, and they lead here 18-15.
Well, I got to tell you, I still believe in the Dons. I still believe they got a lot of talent on that court. They have the experience of playing in a national championship, and I think they can fight this pressure and come back.
That is Craig Hutton, the husband of your associate, Kelly Hartley Hutton, the women's head coach, volleyball coach, and their little one.
And that's our recruit for 2026. We're trying to make her a lefty. We're trying to make her a setter.
Well, here in 2008, it is game 2 of our best-of-5 match. BYU winning game 1, 30-23, and leading game 2, 18-15, with the serve.
Good pass.
Ainsworth to Yost. Big swing for Jason Yost, and he comes up with the 7th kill of the night.
And it goes hand in hand. A good pass is almost always going to yield a kill. And that was a great pass by Plisky.
And here is the good-looking freshman from Germany, Oliver Cook. He has looked very well thus far. Big serve, dug out by Perez. Goes back to Perez, and the block is wide by Yost.
Oh, that would have been a huge play for the Dons to get a block on Perez. He was hanging, and he was banging, and Yost just about had him.
Russell Holmes will serve. 19-16 Cougars here in game 2. Dug out by Plisky. Ainsworth going back to Yost, and yes, off the touch. Sorensen couldn't block it cleanly. Steve, I have to admit, I'm looking over across the way. You talk about a packed house. Capacity is 2,500.
We're at it. We're at it, Mike.
At least.
I mean, I cannot see any portion of the bleacher open.
Yost with the serve. Perez. Dig shot blocked by Ainsworth, but Cougars keep it alive. Free ball chance for IPFW. Ainsworth to Stewart. Dug out by Justin. Perez. Yost with the dig. Back to the right side for Macias, and it's just inside. And it's 19-18. IPFW close to within 1.
And there's another good job of getting the ball to Macias when he's in the back row. And it's starting to work. The distribution is starting to work. They're starting to, Brigham Young's block is starting to have to stay with their hitters, and now CJ's getting open a little bit.
He has 5 kills. And Stewart with a block, and we're tied at 19. Josh Stewart in the middle of the net.
And that's a big difference, too, for the Dons in this match is both Cook and Stewart are bringing up the blocking a little bit, and here we have a tie ball game now.
19 apiece. Ball gets loose from the side. You know, I'm seeing the student section, and I know there are some student athletes over there, some without shirts. And it reminds me of a Ball State match 3 years ago when this place was filled. Yost with a big service ace! And IPFW takes the lead 20-19. And BYU decides to talk things over. They call a timeout. Big serve that time, Steve, by Jason Yost.
Well, you know, I mean, he's playing with a lot of confidence. He's saying, you know what, I can be a difference maker, and he is. He's played great defense. He's serving the cover off the ball, and he's got tons of kills.
Well, again, some unique outfits tonight. There's Big Don.
Well, you know what's so great about this crowd is they appreciate volleyball, and they appreciate the fact that they got the #1 team in the gym here, and we're taking it to them right now.
Learn more about Mastodon Sports by tuning into Mastodon Spotlight each Wednesday and Friday here on CATV. Here's truly Mike Moth, review of recent IPFW sports activities. We try to look at game footage and visit with coaches and players as well. It's Mastodon Spotlight now in its 9th year. Catch it Wednesdays at 7:30 and Fridays at 6:30 right here on College Access Television. IPFW now. Now, neither team is really stinging the ball attack-wise. IPFW hitting 115, BYU 103.
You know, 115 is better than 103,
yes,
though.
Yes, it is.
And it's enough for a 1-point lead. And the Dons are heating up. I told you there's more in the tank. And they're starting to play a little better defense. They're starting to block the ball a little better. And that's all it's taken because Brigham Young, I got to tell you, has been letting the Dons hang around despite the Dons making some, unforced errors. Well, the Dons are cleaning it up. Yost is coming up big, and I think they found a serving target in Perez. They seem to be going after him.
Jason Yost, high in the air, and he unloads it and hits it 6 feet long. And there the timeout works to the advantage of BYU. Stops the volley Don run.
Yeah, that's a tough break for the Dons. Coming out of a timeout, you don't want to miss a serve. That's sort of one of the cardinal rules.
Setter Brian Congelare with the serve. Ulrich with the dig. Ainsworth with the set. Yost with the swing. dug out by Congelaire. High in the air, off the touch. Macias keeps it alive. Ainsworth, Yost, off the touch. Point IPFW. Nice teamwork there by everybody in the floor for IPFW.
Absolutely. It's some good swings by Yost. On that one swing, the non-setter, the setter had to dig the first ball, and so the libero had to set the ball. And of course, if it's somebody besides the setter setting the ball, it's not going to be as good a set as if it were setter. It's like having somebody besides the quarterback throw a pass. It's just not going to be as good. And so it limited their attack. Dons were able to play defense, and here you have a 1-point lead again.
Brock Ulrich with the serve. Congelaire setting up Charlotte. Blocked by Ainsworth. 22-20 IPFW.
You got a dangerous attack here. You've got Charette on the left. You've got Perez on the right. That's a big time block when you can turn it back when you've got two great hitters on either side of the net.
Congelaire setting up Charette. Wide right. IPFW up by 3. BYU calls their second and final allotted timeout. Mighty Mo on the side of IPFW, and a lot of the fans are on their feet.
Oh, the crowd is on their feet. This place is as loud as can be. I can barely hear myself right now. This is some great volleyball. It's a great environment. And I'll tell you what, I got to give it to the crowd because they have been cheering this whole time, even though the Dons have been down. They've been cheering and keeping the team into it, keeping the energy in the gym positive, and I think it's paying off. And that's what you want out of a crowd. You don't want a crowd just cheering when you're up. You want a crowd cheering all the time, and that's what this crowd is doing.
Well, when I stop and think, when I chatted with Sean Pacho prior to the start of the match, and I asked him, okay, what do you feel are your keys tonight? And he said the first thing he knew is that BYU had to serve the ball well. The second thing, they had to return serves well. And he also knew that they were going to be playing in front of a big crowd. Now, they're used to playing in front of big crowds. They play again in Provo in crowds between 5,000 and 6,000. In fact, last year, the IPFW men's basketball team was out in Utah to take on Utah Valley State. And trainer Dan Fox and I get a chance to watch on TV BYU taking on what turned out to be the national champion, UC Irvine. So here we go, 23-20 Volley Dons. Brock Ulrich will continue to serve.
Ulrich wants to keep this in. I know they've been challenging, but they want to keep this in. They want to make Brigham Young fight their way out of a timeout.
Big serve. Congelaire going to Perez, and Ivan Perez says enough is enough.
But two good rounds of service, one by Yost, one by Ulrich, and it gets the Dons a 2-point lead. Now they just need to pass this serve. They've been struggling a little with Perez's serve, so see what they can do here.
Ivan Perez with 10 kills so far tonight. Big jump serve. Dug out by Ulrich. Ainsworth going to Macias. And it hit the pole.
Well, Ainsworth missed just a little with that set. It was a little off the net, and Macias had to make an adjustment in the air, and he missed. But they still got a lead, and if they can pass the serve, they can make it a 2-point lead.
And IPFW's keys, as were mentioned to me by the coaching staff, serve, pass, block. Perez, big serve. Plisky digs it out. Ainsworth going to Yost. Blocked by Stewart, Andrew Stewart. And we're tied at 23. And just like that, the Cougars rip off 3 points in a row out of the timeout.
They're going to try and run Stewart here if they can. You got Ainsworth the setter up with just two hitters, and that's why Yost is hitting out of the back row. You can count on Brigham Young to be camping out on CJ here.
Jump serve. Ulrich digs. Battle at the net. Andrew Stewart dug out by Plisky. Ainsworth going to Macias off the net, wide, and BYU is taking the lead.
Well, the Dons look a little tight. They need to settle down. They pass the serve, they get a kill here, and it's going to be a tie ball game again.
Both teams have utilized their 2 allotted timeouts, so we play on.
Brigham Young has really picked up their intensity on their side of the court.
Well, they were down 23-20, and they've ripped off 4 points in a row. Perez continues to serve at Plisky. Ainsworth going back to Jason Yost. Yes! You called it, Steve. We're tied at 24.
Well, Brigham Young is complaining that Yost hit that ball for outside the antenna. The line judge made the call right away, though. And again, just to clarify the rules, when you attack the ball, it has to cross in between the two antennas. It has to go inside the court. The antenna counts sort of like a sideline. It's got to pass inside the antenna. So Brigham Young is complaining that the ball went outside the antenna, but the officials saying no, went inside. And Brigham Young's got to get it together.
Making his first appearance is Mike Marisi. Missed all of last year with an injury. Sherratt. And Sherratt comes up with the kill. His 13th.
Brigham Young was so busy arguing that call that the official whistled for serve, and they were still arguing, and Marisi was able to get that serve in, and it almost caught him off guard because they weren't paying attention.
Trent Sorensen to serve for the Cougars. Dug out by Ulrich. Short set. No, nice dig that time. They go back to Sherratt. Dig shot, and Cook puts it away at the net. We're tied once again at 25.
And again, success when the setter digs the first ball for Brigham Young. IPFW is having a lot of success there. Cook sort of mishit it, but the setter had to dig it. And then the middle hitter for Brigham Young sets the ball up, and it's a predictable play. Dons are on it.
17 ties in game 2. Stewart, boy, did he get up in the air.
That was a nice job. Oh boy, that was a nice job by Stewart. He just sort of hung up there a whole second longer than the block and stayed with it, and the block fell below the tape, and then he punched it through.
Joel Silva, 6'2" sophomore from San Fernando, Venezuela, comes in to serve. 26-25 BYU here in game 2. Plisky digs it out. Ainsworth setting up Cook. And the 18th tie of this game.
You know, that's a great set by Ainsworth, because you have Yost on the left and you have CJ on the right, the two top options, and he goes to the least likely person to get the set.
CJ Macias with the jump serve. Angelier setting up Holmes. And IPFW gets the point. Russell Holmes was frozen in the net.
Yeah, well, you know, I think he saw Graydon Ainsworth coming in and thought Graydon was going to jump and play the ball. And Graydon not allowed to jump and play the ball because he's back row. He wisely stayed down and just let the ball go over.
Macias continues to serve. Dug out by Andrew Stewart. Congealier setting up Sherratt. Dig shot. Plisky with the dig. Ainsworth going back to Ulrich. Dug out by Justin. On his knees, Congealier gets it up. Free ball chance for the Dons. Ainsworth to Yost, a dig shot, and that's dug out. Now we go back the other way. Perez long. Oh, just inside the line. Delayed call, I thought, by Brian Hummelsgaard.
That's a huge rally for Brigham Young to win, because, you know, they gave a couple of easy balls over to IPFW, and IPFW can convert. So huge rally for Brigham Young to win.
Tied at 27. At the net, Ainsworth. Oh,
nice
BYU
cover.
Blocked it. Plisky keeps it alive. Macias. Dug out by Justin. Perez dink shot. And Cook keeps it going. Macias. Patty cake. Ainsworth throws it up for Yost. Dug out by Justin into the crowd. Oh, BYU keeps it alive. This will be an interesting call because they're going to replay the point, I think, because of the fans.
The official immediately whistled, held up. Signal for replay. He didn't even hesitate. He made the call right away.
You get the feeling that the fire marshal went on vacation?
Well, it's the only place for the fans to stand.
Yes.
There's no place for them to sit.
Tremendous crowd
great
here
rally,
tonight.
and it ends with a point for no one. So they're going to have to do it again.
Tied at 27. 19 ties in game 2. And a miss hit by Cook. And BYU takes the lead.
Well, there's a ball that Cook probably shouldn't have swung on. It was a little set past him and a little low. But the energy is so high, you just want to put the ball away right now.
Andrew Stewart knuckles it over. Ainsworth setting up Yost. Yes, off the hands of Silva. We're tied at 28. 20 different ties in game 2. I don't know if I've ever seen a game with that many ties. And Dan McNerney's going to come in for Oliver Cook to serve.
So we're looking at a good server and a good defensive player coming in for the Dons. Let's see if it pays off. Got a pretty good blocking front row for the Dons, but you got Perez lingering on the left side here for Brigham Young, and you could bet if they can go to him, they will.
Congealier setting up Perez off the shoulder of Ulrich, and it's game point BYU.
He is lethal. I will tell you what, he is dangerous, Perez.
Cook comes back. No, Cook goes out. Let's see who's on the floor. Stewart, Ulrich, Macias, Yost, Pliskin.
Look for Yost probably to get this set if it's anywhere away from the net.
Ainsworth for Stewart! We're tied at 29, and in essence, we go to overtime. You have to win by 2.
And it was a good pass, so Great Ainsworth is able to set his middle hitter, and Stewart takes care of business.
And to think that this is the home opener of 2008. Jason Yost, senior out of San Diego, to serve. Big serve.
Really
Congealier setting up Perez. Boy, they're going to go to Ivan Perez at every chance.
You know, he's hitting over the top of Graydon Ainsworth. He's hitting over the top of a 6'8" right side block. That's just skill. That's talent. That's gift.
Brian Congealier to serve. Second game point for the Cougars here in game 2. Ainsworth does it himself. Oh, another tie at 40.
What a time. What a time to do that. It's a perfect time. He's been using his middles, he's been using Yost, and he hasn't attacked, and he uncorks that one just at the perfect time. And another good server in Ulrich back for the Dons.
Brock Ulrich, we're tied at 30. The corkscrew serve. Took out by Stewart. Congealier going for Perez off the touch. And BYU will have their third game point.
Oh, man. And I'll tell you what, that's just a nice hit by Perez. He drops the elbow. He wasn't swinging for a kill on the floor. He was obviously hitting for hands in that. He got what he wanted. Now Perez, who the Dons have been having trouble passing, is back to serve on game point. That's trouble.
Perez has 14 kills so far. Big serve. Look out at the net. And off the touch. Oh my. And that time it was Sherratt that got it off the shoulder of Macias, and BYU comes from behind and takes game 2 32-30, and they take a 2-game-to-none lead in this best-of-5 match. Now we're going to have a 10-minute break, but there's going to be a little presentation here. See if we can pick up head coach Arnie Ball.
They're going to be honoring former assistant coach Denny Johnson, longtime friend and assistant coach of Arnie Ball.
At this time, I would like to talk to you all. I would like for you to join with me in thanking a gentleman who has been part of our program for a long, long time. And he's coming, I think. This gentleman I've known for about 40-some plus years, and he has served our program diligently for many years, and all the years that we've been to Final Fours and all the things that we've been through. And this year, because his wife retired, he decided to retire. Coach Johnson, would you come forward over here, please? Denny? On behalf of the IPFW men's volleyball family, we would like to present this to you, to Coach Denny Johnson, for your many years of devoted service to the IPFW men's volleyball program. Your coaching has helped build the foundation on which our program now stands. You have helped IPFW gain not only national but global recognition. The success of our program is a direct reflection of you. Thank you and best wishes in your retirement. coach ball in the IPFW men's volleyball program. Coach Johnson.
Applause for Coach Danny Johnson. Again, longtime friend and of Arnie Ball and a longtime coach with IPFW Mastodons.
Also was a coach, I believe, for New Haven High School for several years. And good friends. And again, a nice tribute to Denny Johnson, former assistant coach, and the whole team. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by IPFW Athletic Director Tommy Bell. We're between games 2 and 3 of our volleyball match. BYU ahead 2-0, and we're back in a moment here on CATV.
I guess I'm like most kids. I work hard, I go to class, and I want a degree that's going to mean something. I had offers from other universities, but I wanted the best out of my college choice. I wanted a great education and the campus life to go with it. Student housing, Division I sports, I found it all right here at IPFW. Hey, this is my university, my life, so it's got to feel right. I'm really glad I chose IPFW. I love it here. Go to their website.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, one university, two great names.
This is the training manual for a 747. And these are all the documents the average homeowner signs at closing. Now, no one climbs into the cockpit of a 747 without knowing this inside and out. On the other hand, most people don't even read these, even though they're making the biggest purchase of their lives. In all fairness, it's not easy reading. That's why the Mortgage Bankers Association made this, the simple facts. Something you can read and actually understand long before closing. It is not a sales tool. And because it was created by the Mortgage Bankers Association, it doesn't promote any single bank or type of mortgage. It's just designed to help you get the mortgage that makes the most sense for you. Get your copy at homeloanlearningcenter.com. That's homeloanlearningcenter.com. The simple facts. The name says it all.
Life is good. But with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Everybody at Hilliard Gate Sports Center. We're between games 2 and 3 of our match between top-ranked BYU and 10th-ranked IPFW. The Cougars have won both games played thus far, 30-23 and 32-30. And with us now is Athletic Director Tommy Bell. And Tommy, I appreciate you coming over to chat. Real briefly, your thoughts on this match and this big turnout here tonight.
Wow, what an electric place to be tonight in Fort Wayne. We got everybody in here with a shoehorn, I think. Standing room only.
You know, something about playing the #1 team in the country, I think. A big event we want to talk about coming up on February the 2nd. And you start with the 2 words, Pink Out. Tell us about Pink Out.
Well, Pink Out, we're very excited. You know, the Women's Basketball Coaches Association has I Think Pink Week to put an emphasis on breast cancer awareness for universities and for women's basketball programs, no matter what level they're involved in, to get an opportunity to embrace the communities and interact with different areas of the community. We see it as a good opportunity for IPFW as a university to have a Pink Out where we get everybody in the Fort Wayne community come out, wear their pink, be in the Coliseum. We honor breast cancer survivors. We'll have a very moving day. We are just excited about what's going to happen on February 2nd.
You know, it's the best of all worlds, I think, because you can come and see great Division I college basketball, a doubleheader against very good teams from North Dakota State. And you're also helping the cause for breast cancer. I know cancer's affected my family. I'm sure it probably has affected yours and just about everybody watching tonight. So it goes to a great cause.
It surely does. And we've got the 2 organizations that are going to benefit from proceeds of ticket sales are the American Cancer Society and Francine's Friends, the mobile unit that's used here in Fort Wayne that a lot of people are aware of. So we're looking forward to having as many people there so that we can assist both of those agencies.
Now, again, the date is February the 2nd, Saturday the 2nd, 1 o'clock for the women's game, 4 o'clock for the men's game. The horn's going off. A couple of minutes, we get back to this match. Can the Dons come back and win this match?
The Dons certainly can. They've got the crowd is cheering them on. We got a great crowd here, and I think they're going to carry them on to victory tonight.
Thanks for coming over, Tommy.
Thanks, Mike.
That's Athletic Director Tommy Bell. We'll be back with quick thoughts about Game 3 and in the actual playing of Game 3. It's IPFW and top-ranked BYU, and you're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
Get out to Pink Out Saturday, February 2nd at Memorial Coliseum. Get out to Pink Out. Turn the Coliseum into a sea of pink and honor breast cancer survivors. Get out to Pink Out. Watch IPFW take on North Dakota State in a doubleheader battle of the boards. $1 from every ticket benefits the American Cancer Society and Francine's Friends Mobile Mammography Unit. Get out to Pink Out. Wear pink and show your support. Get out to Pink Out Saturday, February 2nd, because cancer doesn't play by the rules.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm joined now by Steve Florio. And Steve, boy, what a great second game for IPFW fans. Just a little bit unfortunate that they fall 32-30, but it's obvious that these are two of the top teams in the country.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're playing as hard as they can, both teams. You know, Brigham Young knows that if they give an inch, just an inch, IPFW is winning a game and another game in the match. Okay, so don't think Brigham Young's coming out here right now with a 2-0 lead and thinking this is in the bag by any means. They're too good. They play good opponents all the time, and they know that 31-29 win right there was too close.
Yep. Here are some of the numbers. BYU leading in kills 36-27, out hitting the Dons 282-160. They have more assists 36-27, more blocks 8-6, and more digs 23-19. But those margins aren't very big. The kill leaders, Yvonne Perez with 14, Jonathan Charette with 12, and Andrew Stewart with 6 for BYU. Jason Yost with 10, the freshman Oliver Cook with 7, and the All-American CJ Macias with 5 for IPFW. Well, IPFW is down 2-0. They can pretty much freewheel it with nothing to lose.
Well, of course, and you know what? I think they're playing good volleyball right now. I mean, they're really focused and dialed in now. The last 5 points of that match were pretty much back and forth, side out, side out, side out. It was real good volleyball, and I think the Dons are dialed in. The crowd is there. I guess I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but the one thing they can improve is their serve receive. They can just be a little more consistent with their passing. I think this is the Dons' match because Brigham Young's passing well. They're playing good defense. They block them. I think Brigham Young is finally playing a strong game right now, and the Dons are hanging with them. And I think the Dons still have more in the tank.
Well, they need to go bit by bit, piece by piece, and that means winning Game 3. IPFW will serve as you get a look at head coach Arnie Ball, fourth winningest coach in NCAA men's volleyball history with over 400 wins. In fact, his record coming into this match tonight, 457 and 316. Jason Yost will serve first. Again, he's a senior from San Diego, California. IPFW in Game 3 will be going from left to right on your TV screen there in the white jerseys.
You're going to need to see CJ Macias heat up in this game. He's hitting negative right now.
And here we go. And right off the bat, off the touch, Trent Sorensen will get the kill, and BYU takes a 1-0 lead.
And it's a great pass by Brigham Young to start the game.
Brian Congelera will serve. He is their setter. Ainsworth setting up Yost on the right side, and it's in for a kill. We're tied at 1. Brock Ulrich to serve.
And IPFW with a good pass of their own. So good start for IPFW here, and good start for Brigham Young. Which team is going to break down more and serve receive is the question for Game 3.
Ulrich, a big serve. We go to Perez. Nice dig that time by Yost. Stewart, oh, Perez keeps it alive. Anthony Stewart, nobody open in the backcourt, and IPFW gets the point.
And Yost had a great dig, which sort of was the catalyst for that rally right there. So Yost, again, just doing it all on both sides of the ball. He's serving well, he's digging, he's getting a lot of kills.
2-1 Volleyball. Ulrich with the big jump serve into the net. Service error. That is the 7th service error on IPFW tonight. Conversely, BYU has had 8 service errors.
Well, look for another good pass here.
Ivan Perez, what a night he has had. 14 kills in 20 swings.
If they can hold Perez to 1 or 2 serves, they're in good shape.
And he serves it just long.
And that's a huge break for the Dons because Perez has been racking up 2, 3, 4, even 5 points a time when he goes back to serve. So that's they jump past that rotation, and they're in business.
Josh Stewart floats it over. And unable to handle it cleanly is the libero, Leandro Justin. 4-2 IPFW.
A little daylight and a good time for an ace because Stewart, not one of the strongest servers on the Dons. He has a little float serve there, and so to get an ace off that is really good.
Stewart throws it up. Sherratt right off of Ainsworth. I don't think IPFW has had an answer tonight for Jonathan Sherratt.
Well, you know, he's a lefty with a huge jump, and, you know, he's shown great ability to see the block and hit around it. And that's dangerous.
Sherratt has had the most swings of any Cougar tonight, 27. He has 13 kills. And here's Trent Sorensen to serve. Dug out by Ulrich. Ainsworth, and it's a net violation by... Oh, they're going to go a double hit on IPFW.
Well, they could have called a net. They could have called a double. Either way, it's Brigham Young's point. Tough pass. Very, very tough serve by Sorensen. They need to bring it off the net just a bit and let Graydon work.
4-4. Sorensen continues to serve.
All right, that'll work.
Ainsworth going to the right side for Yost off the tip. Congealier with a dig. Free ball chance for IPFW. Can they convert? Ainsworth setting up Cook, yes! Short set, Cook with a tall jump. 5-4 IPFW.
The Dons, for the most part so far, are being able to use, giving Graydon Ainsworth a lot of available hitters, starting with the good pass, and there you have it.
Ainsworth with a jump serve. He transferred from Rutgers Newark. And a big swing off a short set by Congealier. It's Holmes.
Bad news, besides one service error, reception error, that was the ace by Stewart. Brigham Young has pretty much been putting the ball right on the setter's head. A little slang term for that is they're passing nails.
Jonathan Sherratt, left-handed serve. And free ball chance coming up for BYU. Sherratt wide.
Okay, that's a break. That's a break for IPFW. Sherratt has not been missing very often.
No. 6-5 IPFW, and I will see the All-American CJ Macias. Just 5 kills so far tonight. Big serve there. We go back to Sherratt.
Great dig.
Plisky keeps it alive. Free ball chance for BYU, but the Dons got it over. You start a little someplace. Oh, Perez, dink shot. Plisky with a dink. Yost, yes! Boy, some great plays there. Plisky, especially with that dig in the front of the net. And the 7th man is heard from.
That's a huge rally for the Dons to win. They sent a free ball over the net. They were able to dig Sherratt. Lots of good things in that rally for the Dons. Ainsworth had to really go down low and make that set. Yost running all over, making that free ball and then hustling the net to block. Good hustle by the Dons, and they get themselves a point.
7-5 IPFW. CJ Macias will continue to serve. Wow, what a serve. Handcuffing Leandro Justin. And it would be nice if you are an IPFW fan to see the Dons put a little distance between themselves and BYU
and,
here in Game 3.
We've seen a 3-point lead before by the Dons, and it wasn't enough. They need to stay intense now. They're playing with a lot of intensity.
Andrew Stewart dug out by Plisky at the net. It looked like initially like Holmes had it, but
you know what? There's a sense of urgency. There's a lot of intensity on the Don side, and everyone's going for everything right now, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And there you had two players going for the same ball.
The set for Macias off the touch. Point IPFW. Oh, hit a little girl in the stands. A little bit of heat coming that time. It's 9-6 IPFW here in Game 3.
And Macias out of the back row. Nice option for the Dons. They did not have to make that set, so it was a great choice. Wasn't a last resort. Macias is getting some kills off hands.
Oliver Cook with the serve. Perez says thank you very much to his setter, Brian Congelier. And Ivan Perez now with 15 kills tonight.
I'd just like to point out, on those 15 kills, he's hitting .636. Remember, hitting percentage like batting average, 600 batting average. Think of that.
Unreal. Yost from the right side. Jason Yost isn't doing too badly himself, hitting .458 after his 13th kill of the night. And he's going to serve with his team up here 10-7.
You got to love the intensity that Dons are playing with right now. Really great sense of urgency. They are focused, and they are really on a mission right now.
Yost takes a breath, throws it up in the air. Big serve, service ace.
You gotta tip your hat to Yost. All 3 games so far, he has been dialed in. He's been focused, and he has been all business.
His second ace of the night. A little perspiration mopped up on the BYU side of the floor. 11-7. IPFW with the lead here in Game 3. BYU ahead in the match, 2-0.
And the nice thing is they don't look comfortable with the lead, the Dons. They look like they want to hold on to this and keep fighting. They're very focused.
Big serve again. Stewart digs it out. But dig by Yost. Congelier going to Perez. Dig shot. Oh, my. He had 4 Dons go after it. Ulrich hit his head on the floor going after it.
That's good. You know, what that says, see Ulrich diving onto the other side. You know, you see the Dons getting on the ground and not letting anything fall. I mean, even though they lost that point, they're looking at Brigham Young square in the face and saying, we're not going to give up on any points. You're going to have to earn every single one. And that sends a message.
And you see the IPFW Brain Trust head coach Arnie Ball. Assistants Mark Franke and Ryan Perrott. Nate Kittredge has replaced Denny Johnson on the staff. And Congelier with the serve. Macias digs it out. Stewart, oh, what a block. Stewart keeps it up in the air. Ulrich throws a little bit off the touch. No. Long.
Well, it was a good idea by Ulrich. He really had to jump underneath that and take a hack at it. Hey, they still got a lead. They need to stay focused but not panic is the key here. They got the lead.
And they increase it as Congelier serves long. And it's now 12-9 IPFW. Again, this is number 1 against number 10 tonight. The home opener for IPFW in 2008.
It's gotten a little quiet on the Cougar side over there. They're sort of just waiting for a break.
Ulrich with that corkscrew type serve. And swinging and serving wide was Charette, a rare miss.
He's missed twice in this game alone, and that's huge. And you know, it looks like Brigham Young's sort of waiting for IPFW to mess up, because that's what IPFW's done in game 1 and 2 is they've given a lot of free points to Brigham Young, and right now IPFW is not. Any point Brigham Young gets is because they're earning it. Another good serve.
The set for Macias. Yes, off the touch. CJ Macias with the 7th kill. 14-9. And timeout called by BYU. It's the Dons by 5 in Game 3. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
Pink Out, Saturday, February 2nd at Memorial Coliseum. Get out to Pink Out. Turn the Coliseum into a sea of pink and honor breast cancer survivors. Get out to Pink Out. Watch IPFW take on North Dakota State in a doubleheader battle of the boards. $1 from every ticket benefits the American Cancer Society and Francine's Friends Mobile Mammography Unit. Get out to Pink Out. Wear pink and show your support. Get out to Pink Out, Saturday, February 2nd, because cancer doesn't play by the rules.
A noisy Hilliard Gate Sports Center, a capacity crowd tonight here watching the defending national runner-up IPFW Volleyball take on the top-ranked BYU Cougars. And again, a reminder to get out to Pink Out Saturday, February 2nd at the Memorial Coliseum and honor breast cancer survivors. Wear your pink shirt, sweater, shorts, socks, and even shoes, and come out for an afternoon of great basketball. IPFW takes on North Dakota State in a doubleheader. Women's game is at 1 o'clock, the men's game is at 4, and a portion of each ticket sold will be donated to the American Cancer Society and Francine's Friends Mobile Mammography Unit. Get out to Pink Out February 2nd. Steve Florio in Game 4, IPFW hitting 500, BYU 231.
Yeah, well, IPFW's passing has picked up. They've made some great digs, and on the other end of that, Brigham Young's passing is broken down. They've been aced a few times. They've overpassed a few times, and there's a difference. You know, it sounds so silly, and probably over the course of this season, you're going to hear me say it a lot. But this game is a ball control game, and it starts with that first contact. If the first contact is in control, you're in control. If it's not, you're out of control. Chaos.
Brock Ulrich with his serve. Dug out by Perez. Short set, blocked by Josh Stewart. Congealier goes to Perez again, blocked by Stewart again! Back to Black, blocks, and it's 15-9 IPFW. And BYU is going to send in Reed Chilton, a 6'3 sophomore from Centerville, Ohio. And he will be as a setter, replacing Brian Congealier. I would think that Reed has some family and friends here tonight.
Yeah, I see some Brigham Young shirts in the crowd. Not many, because there's about 2,000 Dons fans here at least.
Collision! That time Ulrich slammed it right at Perez, and the libero Leandro Justin collided.
You know, and I don't understand the setter substitution by Coach Patchell, only because the passing of Brigham Young is what's broken down right now. I mean, there you go. There's another example. Last 3 passes by Brigham Young have been an overpass, a near overpass, and an ace.
High in the air for Perez, off the touch. BYU finally stops the IPFW run, but it was a 5-point run. 16-10 to score. Volleyball's on top, and Cougars will serve, and it'll be their All-American candidate, Ivan Perez. From Puerto Rico, played last weekend for the Puerto Rican national team as they qualified for the upcoming Beijing Olympics.
There's an overpass.
Overpass there, and swinging long. Boy, BYU screaming for a touch, and Dan Hauser, the down official, says yes. Wow, I wonder if we get a replay for that one. Crowd not happy with the call. Well, I'll give the Cougars credit because they immediately were talking, let's go, it was a touch, it was a touch.
Yeah, well, that's volleyball, though. You'll see both teams will be calling for touches when they think they get one. It's just sort of the nature of the game.
Ainsworth attacks himself at the same time. Graydon Ainsworth is the attacker rather than the setter.
And that opens you up too as a setter. You make yourself an attacker, and now the block has to respect you too. It's a lot like a quarterback running the ball rather than opting to throw it. So like him tucking it in there and then taking it himself.
Dan McNerney into serve, replacing Josh Stewart. 17-11 IPFW up here in Game 3. Running flat type of serve. And Charette is wide. Hit the net and bounced wide. 18-11 Volleyball.
Well, this is a great lead for the Dons, and I'd like to see them keep the intensity that they've used to get this lead.
They'd like to play a wee bit longer tonight, that's for sure. McNerney again on the run, but unloads it about 5 feet long. And he will depart. Stewart back on the floor. And for the Cougars, it'll be Trent Sorensen to serve.
You know the Cougars still want to win this in 3. You know that they're not just going to give up and look to game 4 just yet.
Well, this is a continuation of a road trip. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Uh-oh, overpass. And putting it away. Oh no, they're going to change the call. That time Holmes thought he had the kill, and Himmelgarn said no, it was wide left. And head coach Sean Pacho up and talking about it.
Well, what Coach Pacho wanted was a tool off the block, but the officials say there was no touch, so that sort of evens out from the touch call before.
Service ace for Ainsworth. And timeout again called by BYU. Cougars trail 20-12. And Steve, I'm not sure we can hear each other right now.
Oh man, it is so loud in here. Crowd is on their feet. I can't wait to see the attendance numbers. We are clearly over 2,000 here, and they're keeping the Dons alive, I have to say. The other thing keeping the Dons alive is a great service and better service eve.
The latest Mastodon scores and stats are available on the World Wide Web by going to GoMastodons.com. There you can check up on the teams, players, and you can order tickets as well. It's the official Mastodon Athletics website, GoMastodons.com. Now, IPFW, from the last time out, has increased their hitting percentage, Steve. In Game 3, they are hitting .545. BYU is hitting just .105.
Well, and comes down again to that first touch, which is the pass of the serve. And the Dons are serving really, really strong, and they've broken Brigham Young's serve receive down. Bottom line.
BYU has used up both of their allotted timeouts here in Game 3.
And their serve receive breaking down is leading to less accurate sets and more difficult hits, making it more difficult for the hitters. And there you have some more hitting errors. You have more blocks by the Dons, and there you have the score. Another bad pass.
And another point for IPFW. Double hit call.
There you have an example. A bad pass makes a setter run, and when the setter's on the run, it's a lot harder to put up a set. And there he actually made an error. He double hit the ball.
21-12. Graydon Ainsworth, the senior setter, will continue to serve. Dug out by Stewart. Gets the return pass, and it's almost blocked by Cook, just wide.
Okay, they just again need to keep their intensity up. I mean, they want to run to the end of this game. They don't want to let Brigham Young build any momentum. They want to try and take momentum into Game 4.
Jonathan Charette with a left-handed serve. Dug out by Macias. Ainsworth setting up CJ, yes! And for CJ Macias, that is his 8th kill of the night.
And the good passing by the Dons, the good attacking by all the other hitters, and the good distribution by Ainsworth has opened Macias up.
But unfortunately, CJ commits a service error, and that can be a rally killer quicker than anything.
You could think of it in basketball terms. If there's a great scorer for one basketball team and another team decides to double team them.
Oh, nice block that time as Holmes out-dueled Cook at the net.
You need other players on the team to score besides the big scorer. And if other players on the team start scoring, the double team comes off the star player.
Ainsworth going to Yost. Jason hasn't been heard from in a while, but now he is. His 15th kill of the night.
And again, another good pass. And you saw the middle blocker for Brigham Young had to stay with Oliver Cook. because Ainsworth could set Cook, and so he had to stay with him, and when that ball went back, the middle blocker couldn't catch up. Single block for Yost, kill.
Mike Morisi on to serve. The set, oh my. Nice short set by Chilton, and Holmes comes up with his third kill of the night.
It's a 7-point lead, 23-16. It's a substantial lead, but #1 team in the nation is still capable of coming back from it. So the Dons have to keep the guard up and keep fighting.
Russell Holmes will serve. Dug out by Macias. Ainsworth for Stewart. The other Stewart comes up with a dig. Charette dug out by Ainsworth. Block at the net, wide right, and BYU now closes to within 6. 23-17. It was 22-13 just a few moments ago.
And that's what this team Brigham Young is capable of. If they can get their ball control back in check, could be trouble.
Ainsworth hits the deck. Yost, lollipop shot. Throws everybody on the BYU side of the court.
That's a taste of Brigham Young's own medicine, because they've done that quite a few times with success. But there you have Yost, who's been pounding all night, and they were sitting back, ready to make another dig on him, and he rolls it and catches him completely off guard.
Jason hitting 500, 15 kills and 26 swings with 2 errors.
And he's doing it all. He's not just getting kills. He's also got 10 digs, so he's got a double-double working in Game 3 here.
And he will serve. High in the air, a wee bit long. Got too much of it. 24-18.
All right. It's a tough rotation for the Dons. They have Josh Stewart, Brock Ulrich, who's had better nights, and Ainsworth in the front row. Which means they have Macias and Yost coming out of the back row.
Chilton with the serve. Ainsworth setting up Ulrich on the run. Oh! Stewart keeps it alive. Free ball chance for IPFW. And Stewart puts it away!
And let me tell you, what you saw Ulrich do there is very, very rare in men's volleyball. It's a set called a slide. It's like a layup type approach where you jump off of one leg. And you don't see that very often in men's volleyball, and it's can be very effective.
Brock Ulrich dug out. Short set by Chilton, and Sorensen gets the kill.
The disadvantage to that is Brock Ulrich goes behind, hits that slide, and gets left on the right side of the court, and there's no outside hitter for Ulrich to set if he needs to. So it was a good thing they made a good dig and were able to run Stewart 2 points ago. And here's Perez. Again, if they can just get through this receive, they're going to be in very good shape, the Dons.
And now I can say that Darryl Shank is on the floor for IPFW. I mistakenly said he was for BYU earlier in the match, but Perez, Plisky digs it out. Ainsworth setting up Macias on the left side. That's long. 25-20. The lead has been cut to 5.
Macias is trying to get back in rhythm. That set was about on the 10-foot line, and it needs to be a little closer to the net for him to be able to swing in hands.
Perez gets it over.
Good pass.
Ainsworth setting up Macias. At first you don't succeed. Oh, Stewart with the dig at the net. Plisky keeps it alive. We go back to Yost. Yes, off the hands of Perez. Again to the barrel. Matt Plisky keeping the ball alive for IPFW.
Yost is hitting it from the back row, from the front row. There's a nice dig by Plisky. Nice job of Macias getting the hands on that first attack.
And it's 26-20. Josh Stewart to serve. Dug out by Andrew Stewart. He gets the return pass. And that is dug out. Here's Macias. Off the touch. Point IPFW.
You know, when you're the featured hitter, when you're CJ Macias, and you're the two-time All-American, and every team knows about you, and you know you're going to have 2 sets of hands and 3 sets of hands in your face all the time, that's a great kill, hitting it off the block.
The setup for Perez off of Stewart.
They had a double block go with the middle hitter there. and the two blockers jumped, and Perez came through the back row, and by the time he's contacted the ball, the block dropped. Well executed play, sometimes referred to as a tandem.
Well, let's see. There is going to be a sub for BYU. Tuttle comes in, we think, or is Tuttle not coming in?
Well, what down official Dan Hauser is saying is they took too long to get the sub up there.
Well, see, initially Joel Silva was up there wanting to go in. Then he went back. Now, Sean Patchell talking with Dan Hauser, our down official.
What he's saying is once you cross the 10-foot line, the attack line, you enter the substitution.
Sub on delay. We chose delay because there's a delay.
You have to go in.
Team delay warning.
Well, Sean Patchell loses the argument, but Trent Sorensen will serve. 27-21 IPFW here in Game 3. Ainsworth setting up Yost.
You know what Yost does so well as a lefty is that set was way off the court, and he leans over still and is able to cut that ball back in. And Brigham Young is just having all sorts of trouble digging his cross-court shot.
28-21, Graydon Ainsworth with the serve. Into the net.
Again, you know, at 28-22, the odds are that IPFW is going to be able to take this game. I don't want to jinx them, so I'm knocking on wood. But what you want to do, though, is not assume the win, drive to the end, and not let Brigham Young pick up any momentum. Because if they can carry momentum into Game 4, you don't want that.
Joel Silva serving off the top of the net, dug out. Ainsworth setting up Cook. That is blocked at the net. Ainsworth going over this time to Yost, and that's blocked by Chilton. And the Cougar faithful are on their feet. 28-23. Silva will continue to serve.
Nice blocking there by the Cougars.
Into the net, and it's a service error, and it's game point IPFW.
Now you want to see IPFW finish with like a big play here, like a block, something to fire the crowd up even more than they're already fired up, and something to send Brigham Young across the other side of the court thinking about.
C.J. Macias with the serve. Overpass, block it that time by Chilton. Ainsworth for Yost, yes!
That's a good way.
We will play a game 4. IPFW wins game 3, 30-23. Will change hands and come on back. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
The power's out, but your food safety plan is on. Don't open the fridge. Foods will be safe for up to 4 hours if the door stays closed. Keep the freezer shut too. If it's full, the food will stay frozen for about 2 days. When power returns, make sure freezer foods have ice crystals and check fridge foods with a food thermometer to make sure they're at 40 degrees or below. If not, or if there's any doubt, throw it out. Learn more at www.askkaren.gov or call the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Meat and Poultry Hotline at 1-888-MP Hotline.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met, to do things you never thought you could. What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far will you go?
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. IPFW down 2 games to none after losing games 1 and 2 by scores of 30-23 and 32-30. Came back to win game 3, 30-23. We will play a game 4. As you see, Arnie Ball and his staff talking with the Volleyball. And Steve Florio, we look back at game 3. IPFW ended up hitting 407 to 250 for the BYU Cougars.
Yeah, very simple. It came down to tough serving by IPFW, and they broke Brigham Young's serve receive down. The sets got less accurate, and you saw Perez and Charette both be less successful than they were in games 1 and 2, and that's the difference right there. They couldn't lean on Perez and Charette. They struggled with their control, and IPFW did not. And there you have it. IPFW hit 407 in that game, and Brigham Young hit 250. So a difference right there in attack.
There you see on the bottom of your screen, you see the second-year head coach, Sean Pacho, a former BYU Cougar. And last year he led BYU to a record of 23-6, 18-4 in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. They were ironically knocked out in their conference tournament by the eventual national champion UC Irvine. That's one thing that these two teams have in common. Their last match last year was a loss to UCI. But here we go. Jonathan Charette will serve first for the Cougars. Game 4 is underway, and it's a service error.
And Charette started off on fire, has really cooled off with his attack and his service and even his ball control. You'll notice a change in Brigham Young. They have a new player wearing the libero jersey, and that is Joel Silva. He is now wearing the libero jersey.
Jason Yost with the serve for IPFW. Chilton, the block at the net by Stewart. We go back to Andrew Stewart, and that's dug out by Brock Ulrich. Setting up Macias, yes! CJ Macias now in double figures with 10 kills.
You know, and just to go back to that libero change, obviously Coach Patchell recognized that ball control, service reception was a big weakness in Game 3, and so he went ahead and changed. His libero out, and the libero is a player that wears a different color jersey, and the libero is an all-time defensive player. They don't have any front row privileges, but their job is ball control.
Well, this is interesting. Sean Patchell wanted a delay. Now his team got the point, Holmes got the kill, but Patchell wanted play halted until they could move the fans back away from the court, and he still wants that to take place.
Thank you. That's good.
And the captains have gone over to talk to Brian Himmelsgarn. Andrew Stewart will serve. It's 2-1 IPFW in Game 4. Yost from the right side off the hand of Charette. 3-1 Volleyball.
Well, Yost just keeps banging, doesn't he?
He sure does. Chasen tonight has 19 kills and 31 swings.
Ulrich has a great serve. Let's see if he can get a point or two here for the Dons.
Good serve. Andrew Stewart digs it out. The setup for Charette. And Charette off the set from Chilton comes up.
And you're standing next to me when I approach.
The spectators. I've been asking the announcer, this is an event management thing, but I'm not going to let you serve until they're out of the way, okay? I understand. Where you were just there was fine. So you're talking about the spectators, yeah? I didn't know what you said then. I'm sorry.
When they're serving, they move back. When I approach, they're in my lane to approach.
I got you. I understand.
6 foot back, and they're okay. And I think that's what the up official is saying. They're 6 feet back, which is far enough by the rules.
Well, play about ready to be resumed. Russell Holmes, 6'8" senior from Fountain Valley, CA to serve. Dug out by Macias. We go back to Yost. Blocked at the net. Sorensen and Perez tag team it.
Well, I think they've made a bit of an adjustment on Yost, too, blocking-wise. I think the Cougars have moved their block all the way out to the antenna, and they're only going to give Yost the cross-court shot, and they're going to sit on it and try and dig it.
Plisky digs out the serve. Ainsworth goes to Macias off the touch, yes. C.J. Macias with 2 kills in game 4. He's now got 11 for the night.
And Macias is starting to hit angles. He's starting to hit hands. He's starting to cut the ball just a little more instead of driving it the way he's facing. And he's starting to hit around the block just a bit better. And there's some difference right there.
Josh Stewart to serve. Dug out. The setup. Sorensen. Chilton has come in for Congelar and has not done too badly.
Well, you know, this game in particular, Brigham Young's passing so far has been better than it was in game 3.
Now we're tied 4-4. Reed Chilton serves. Ainsworth setting up Yost once again, yes! Off the arm of Andrew Stewart.
You know, Yost hung in there a little bit longer, and he waited on that set a bit. The block fell, and then the ball went through. And, you know, the defense is just having trouble reading him.
Graydon Ainsworth, 6'8" senior setter, serving it up. Dug out by Perez. Chilton for Charette, dink shot. And that time Cook mistimed his jump, got a fingertip on it, and Ainsworth couldn't get to it.
He might have almost been better not touching that ball. But, you know, I mean, they've scored a lot of points by hanging and blocking that at the last second, too.
We're tied again at 5. Yvonne Perez, All-American candidate.
They did a good job, the Dons did a good job of getting through Perez's service rotation really well. They did that really well in game 3. See if they can do that again in game 4. If they can hold him to 1 or 2 points on his serve, they're going to have a really good shot at this game.
Well, didn't get any that time because Perez served it into the net.
He's giving them a free pass.
6'5", IPFW, C.J. Macias to serve. Spins that ball a bit. Now he throws it up in the air. Dug out. Chilton setting up Andrew Stewart, and that's dug out by Ulrich. Plisky heads for it, keeps it alive. Macias throws it up. That's dug out. Chilton. Oh, nice dig by Plisky. We go back to Ulrich. Yes! And Plisky kept it going with the big dig.
And I'll tell you what, that's what defense does. Defense scraps out those points. You're able to pick up a point here, a point there because of digs, and then you tell you what, in the men's game, that is the difference maker. Now, again, I think Charette went to the up official.
So we need to get it handled fast. I want them off the court. I want them back. Yes, absolutely. We got to take care of it now.
And Jonathan Charette, number 13, and now Dan Hauser is going to go across and say, folks, you got to move back a little bit. And now he's talking with Associate Athletic Director Tim Heffron, a former women's volleyball coach here at IPFW. Again, right now our score is 7-5 in game 4. IPFW leads this game. They trail in the match 2-1.
You know, I'm going to tell you that this is a good momentum break for Brigham Young because IPFW just had a huge play. I mean, the momentum was definitely swaying in IPFW's side. They just scrapped out a great point with some excellent defense by Plisky. A great rally to really pump up the momentum, and it's just completely being deflated right now. So even if Brigham Young doesn't get the crowd back, at least they stop the momentum with that complaint.
Well, now we're ready to go. C.J. Macias will continue to serve. Dug out. Chilton setting up Charette. Block! Beautifully! I think it was Brock Ulrich with the block. Might have been helped by Cook as well.
Well, that's a great way to get momentum back and bring the energy back up. Again, it was not a very good pass by Brigham Young. Macias just needs to keep cranking that serve. They've opened themselves a 3-point lead.
8-5. Another jump serve by Macias. Dug
That's
out.
a good pass.
Chilton off Sorensen and off the touch. BYU will get the point.
All right, though, good run by IPFW. We've got Yost in the front row, Kook in the front row, and Ulrich in the front row for IPFW.
Trent Sorensen to serve for BYU. Into the net, another service error. That's at least 13 on the night that I know of. 9-6 Volleyball.
Now, if you're Coach Patchell, I really feel like he's letting his players pay attention too much to the crowd. I mean, it's hard to ignore him. There's got to be about 2,500 here.
Cook with the serve. Set up for Andrew Stewart. And I think they called Josh Stewart for a net violation.
Yeah, it was a net violation, but it was all, would have been a kill one way or the other. Unfortunately, you don't want to be in the net ever. But Brigham Young missing a lot of serves here.
Charette with a left-handed serve. Overpass. And Holmes made IPFW pay.
And that's one the Dons don't want to give back because that was not a very difficult serve. Looks like Brigham Young might be even taking a little off it just to get it in.
Well, it's now 9-8. Ulrich. Ainsworth. And now we're tied at 9, I think.
And Ulrich is having a little trouble passing. They move Ulrich to the left side of the serve receive there. Look for Charette to try and find him. Right to Macias.
Overpass again, and Andrew Stewart puts it down, and Arnie Ball says, let's talk it over. Timeout, BYU up game 4, 10-9, up in the match 2-1. This is IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
That's 3.
We're gonna stay here.
Yeah, we're going to stay here. Let's talk about that serve. It's what's called a jump float. The player does leave his feet and he does jump, but he doesn't put topspin on the ball like you see. Like Brock Ulrich has a topspin jump serve and Jason Yost has a topspin jump serve. But Charette is serving a jump float, and it seems to be giving a lot of trouble to the Dons. That's 3 overpasses in a row, and you just can't have that.
Well, what's ahead for IPFW, you ask? Well, actually, tomorrow they're going to take a long trip to Erie, Pennsylvania and take on Mercyhurst College in an MIVA match. Next Friday, the 25th of January, they're back here against George Mason. On the 26th, they're going to take on Rutgers Newark. Both of those matches start at 7 p.m. So that's what's ahead in the coming week as IPFW gets their schedule underway with some regularity. Again, they lost their season opener last Friday night in Columbus, Ohio. 3-2 to the now 9th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And here they're taking on the top-ranked Cougars of BYU. And out of the timeout, BYU will continue to serve. It'll be Jonathan Charette. And it was 9-6 IPFW. BYU has run off 4 points in a row.
It's a better pass.
And Yost had a better swing. And Jason Yost now has 21 kills tonight. Leads everybody.
I just hope that run of overpasses doesn't come back to haunt IPFW later in this game. Of all the tough servers of Brigham Young, that should have been an easier one for them to handle.
Jason Yost will serve. Perez throws it high in the air. Andrew Stewart. Ainsworth almost had the block. BYU's asking for a touch, and I don't think they're going to get it.
No, he sent that one for a ride.
11-10, IPFW retakes the lead.
Great serve by Yost, by the way, and that what you see there is Yost is hitting a topspin jump serve.
Boy, what a serve there. Charette. Whoa, it's Josh Stewart and Ulrich block things up at the net, and finally, IPFW wins the point. And a timeout is called again by BYU. And now we'll take the break. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
BYU Volleyball tonight brought to you by 816 Pint and Slice, located at 816 South Calhoun Street in Fort Wayne. For fine pizza and drinks, it's 816 Pint and Slice. Now here at the Gates Center, we're in Game 4 of our best-of-5 match. Number 1, BYU won Game 1, 30-23, won Game 2, 32-30. 10th-ranked IPFW won Game 3, 30-23, and they lead in Game 4, 12-10. And what a night, Steve Florio. This crowd has been tremendous. And we've seen some tremendous volleyball as well.
It's been great volleyball. And again, Yost out of the timeout, wants to get this serve in, and he does.
Chilton setting up Perez, a little dink shot. Plisky with the dig. We go back to Macias on the right side, and that's dug out. And
never cleared the net. So they call 4 hits on the Mastodons. It's saying it never cleared the net, the block never touched it, it went off the net, and so that's 4 hits.
12-11 now. The lead has been cut to 1. Macias smacks it off Andrew Stewart. IPFW gets the point.
That was a really nice set. I wasn't sure if CJ was expecting it, to be honest with you, but he did a nice job of putting, hitting somewhat of a flat shot. The block was already down, and the defense was not expecting that.
CJ Macias now with 12 kills tonight. Brock Ulrich just long on the serve.
And there's a break for Brigham Young, because like Perez, Ulrich has been running a fair amount of points on his serve, so when he misses, that's a break.
13-12, IPFW with the lead. It's Russell Holmes of BYU with the serve. Little float serve. Ainsworth setting up Macias on the left side. And the block is wide right by Chilton.
And like I said earlier, if you're the go-to hitter like Macias is, and you know you're going to have 2-3 sets of hands in your face, you might as well hit him and deflect the ball out of bounds rather than try and get around it. You know it's going to be there.
Josh Stewart floats it over, dug out by Andrew Stewart. Sorensen, again, a nice short set by Reed Chilton. And again, it's a 1-point game, 14-13.
Stewart's composed himself for Brigham Young. He's starting to pass the ball better. And that's going to make trouble for the Dons if they're running their middles. Very good front row here for Brigham Young, by the way. Charette, Perez, and Sorensen.
At the net, Ainsworth setting up Macias. Oh, nice keeping it alive was Chilton. Perez off the touch. That hit off Ainsworth's hands, I do believe. And we're tied at 14.
That's about the only shot Perez had. It was a really tight set, and he's just such an intelligent and savvy player. He knew what he had, and he took it, and that's the tool shot.
Ainsworth setting up Yost. Yes. Off of Silva, but yes. It's weird seeing Silva with the white jersey on, and you commented earlier in this game.
Yeah, well, obviously Coach Patchell was trying to address ball control there. No one's been able to figure out Yost on defense, though.
Graydon Ainsworth will serve. Dug out by Silva. Chilton setting up Perez. And that's kill number 20 tonight for Ivan Perez.
Yeah, it was a really nice set. It was a very fast tempo set. Perez was airborne already, and he just flew into that ball and took a good swing on it.
Ivan Perez to serve.
Great rhythm on that set.
Dug out by Ulrich. Ainsworth setting up Macias. Nice screen there by Oliver Cook.
Yeah, well, nice run. And another way to get Macias involved. When the pass has been good, they've been using their middles, so it's nice to go away from the middles there. And interesting, you saw Perez take something off his serve and sort of roll it in because he's missed his last few. So Dons are in control right now.
Up 16-15. Chilton setting up Charette. And BYU gets the point.
And Charette's been a little ineffective, but if he comes back to life, that could be trouble for the Dons. It's a really dangerous lefty, a lot like Yost.
Tied at 16, Trent Sorensen to serve. Plisky with the dig. Ainsworth setting up Yost. And look out! Sorensen almost took out our PA announcer and our sports information director at the same time. IPFW retakes the lead, 17-16.
Well, you know, Sorensen didn't really have a plan on that ball, but he's going to show his team we're going to fight even if we don't think we have a chance.
Oliver Cook with the serve, dug out by Andrew Stewart. Chilton, long arms that time of Russell Holmes. Doesn't hurt to be 6'8" either.
As a fantastic set. Really right on the money. Great speed, great tempo. Another good set in rhythm.
Tied again at 17. Jonathan Charette to serve. Plisky digs it out. Ainsworth going to set up Yost. It was blocked. IPFW has to keep it alive. Here's Ulrich. Dug out. Perez, look out. Perez had a wide open back half of the court.
Man, he can fly.
And he can pound it.
Right time to go to him. I mean, they were in system. Brigham Young trying to run, been having a lot of success with the middle hitter. Go away from him and give Perez, who doesn't even need an open look, give him an open look.
Ivan Perez, 21 kills and 31 swings. He's hitting .613 tonight.
Again, Charette back to serve, and last time Charette ran 3 overpasses in a row off his serve. Still, there's a good pass.
Yost, yes! Jason Yost comes up with his 24th kill. We're tied at 18. And I got to take a quick look at something. Jason Yost.
Now, Chilton's in the front row for Brigham Young, so that you're going to look to see some attacks from the outside by IPFW.
This is a career night for Yost in kills. Charette, and off the touch, gets the point. 19-18 BYU. Mentioned a career night for Jason Yost. He has 24 kills. His previous career high was 18 against Pepperdine in the national semifinal match last year. Stewart long on the swing. And a little bit of daylight now, 20-18 BYU. Andrew Stewart will continue to serve.
And a rare miss for IPFW's middles. They've been so good all night. That was a good pass. It was the right set. Just a tough break.
Ainsworth setting up Yost. Blocked by Holmes. And IPFW decides to call a timeout. They trail 21-18. And let's keep it right here, Steve Florio. You're looking at Arnie Ball and Ryan Perrott. What do you think they'll tell this team right now?
Well, boy, I sound like I don't have anything original to say here, but they need to fix their ball control right now. I mean, Graydon Ainsworth is his set is dictated by the pass. Very simple. He can't create. He can't work because he's being forced to do things based on the ball control of the Dons. Very, very simple right now. They need to give Graydon, the setter for IPFW, more to work with.
Well, you talk about offensive prowess in Game 4. BYU is hitting .500, 15 kills, 24 swings, 3 errors. IPFW hitting .400, 12 kills, 20 swings, and 4 errors.
It's a slugfest right now, that's for sure. And boy, if you could have seen Perez's face after that block, he wants to win so bad. And you know what? He knows that he's got to play at the level he's playing at right now to beat IPFW. And IPFW is still in this match. They've had a deficit like this before, and they can come back. 21-18 is certainly workable for the Dons.
Wow, just got our attendance tonight, 2,049. Seems like more, but that's thank you to the Fort Wayne community for supporting the IPFW volleyball program. Here we go, Andrew Stewart with the serve. Ainsworth, over the net perhaps? Boy, it looked like Holmes was over the net, but BYU
he's allowed to be over the net because he's blocking. And you're allowed to penetrate the net when you're blocking. Ainsworth is front row. He was attacking the ball because that's all Ainsworth could do. It was another overpass.
Andrew Stewart continues to serve. It's now 22-18. Yost, yes. That time Jason Yost just hammered it through the hands of Russell Holmes. That was a badly needed
And
point.
they had a triple block on Yost, so huge kill for Yost there to fight it through a triple block. They were waiting on him.
25 kills and 40 swings. He's hitting 500 tonight. He has 11 digs as well.
They need Ulrich to spin one off here right now.
Brock serves it long.
Bad break for the Dons. They got to fight back. They got to get this ball back now and get to 20 and get it back to a 3-point game.
They're down 23-19, and it looks like Leandro Justin, who began the game as the libero, will now come in to serve. And he replaces Russell Holmes. Justin, a 6'1" sophomore from San Jose de Campos.
Got Macias and Stewart front row for Ainsworth here.
Ainsworth setting up Yost again. Yes! Looks like Jason took just a wee bit off of that one.
Yep. And again, you know, if Jason can punch that ball through the block, the defense just is, they can't read him. I'm not sure what it is. They can't read him. They can't time him. I mean, he does have sort of a delayed arm swing, which makes the ball a little flat, but they just cannot read him, so he might as well just keep banging.
Dan McNerney in to serve. Don's trail by
Good serve.
3. Chilton, nice block that time by Ainsworth. Chilton going to Ivan Perez.
What a shot.
Wow. Well, you can tell, and you can see why Ivan Perez is on the Puerto Rican national team.
That was a great shot. He's facing cross court. He's looking cross court. He swings across his body down the line. It's an equivalent. It's like a no-look pass in basketball in a way.
BYU up 24-20 in game 4. They're up 2-1 in the match. And Chilton just slurs it into the net. That has been an ally of IPFW tonight.
Now you got Perez hitting off the right side of the court. You got Charette hitting off the left. And you got Sorensen in front row. I mean, the 3 best hitters right now on the team for Brigham Young are all available for the setter.
Ainsworth off the top of the net. Andrew Stewart digs it out. Chilton setting up Perez. Plisky with the dig. Ainsworth going to Yost. And the block is long. Yost with 27 kills. Don's Porter within 2 at 24-22.
Again, the 3 best hitters right now for Brigham Young all in the front row. Ainsworth really needs to crack one here. Good serve.
Chilton going to Charette. Blocked by Oliver Cook. Now this crowd's in it, and BYU calls a timeout. And this crowd is making some noise. IPFW now down by just a point.
Now, if it's a perfect pass, I suspect they're going to run Sorensen because he's been automatic. And if it's not, they're going to just do everything they can to find Perez.
Well, your offensive stars tonight for BYU, now there's 2 of them. Ivan Perez, 22 kills, hitting .606. And Jonathan Charette, 17 kills in 40 swings. It's not a great hitting percentage, but he's come up with some timely kills.
And then you've got Sorensen, who's got 10 kills. So you've got 3 hitters in the front row for Brigham Young right now on this serve receive that the setter can go to.
Have you heard about the Royal Dance Club? Participate in the excitement of Mastodon Athletics with the Royal Dance Club. It's IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy athletics-related special events, priority access to tickets, and more. To learn about the Royal Dance Club, call 260-481-6894. You can write to the Royal Dance Club at 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana 46805. Or you can go to the IPFW Athletics website at gomastodons.com. And the IPFW hitting star, without a doubt, Jason Yost, the senior from San Diego, a career high 27 kills in 42 swings, hitting .524. Well, here we go. IPFW down by 1, serving for the tie. It's the 6'8" senior setter, Graydon Ainsworth.
Ooh.
And he unloads it, 1.5 feet long.
He changed his serve. He was hitting 2 topspin jump serves before the timeout. Out of the timeout, he went to a jump float. He was serving not to miss there. Changed his serve completely.
Arnie ball, arms crossed. Ivan Perez with the serve. Dug out by Ulrich. Ainsworth setting up Macias.
And Macias hits it into the antenna. And that's a big point for Brigham Young because they open up a 3-point lead again.
26-23.
Perez has been rolling his serve in. I wonder if he's going to go for it here, though. He's been playing it safe, serving at about 50%. I wonder if he tries to uncork one now. And he does.
Into the net. Service error. A break for IPFW.
You know, he went for a much harder serve than he has been his last 2 times, and he missed. And he looked up to the ceiling like, what was I thinking?
C.J. Macias to serve. IPFW down by 2 in a game they have to win.
Good serve.
Chilton setting up Stewart. Dug out by Plisky. Ainsworth setting up Ulrich. Off the touch, kept alive.
Look for Perez out of the back row.
Big swing, Plisky with a huge dig. Ainsworth throws it up for Macias. Block at the net, however. Sorensen and Charette. And it's 27-24. IPFW about the point. They cannot make a mistake the rest of the way.
Now that was a big opportunity for the Dons right now. That was a huge opportunity.
Well, BYU wants to make a substitution. They want to get Holmes back on the floor at 6'8", and they do. Out is Justin.
They had a huge dig off of Stewart and a huge dig off of Perez, and they have been digging Perez very often, so when you dig Perez, you want to be able to convert. Tough break for the Dons.
But they are still alive. Sorensen with the serve. Creases the net. Plisky digs it out. The setup for Yost. Blocked at the net, but Macias keeps it alive. We go back to Jason Yost. Yes! (27-25).
Yost with his 28th kill, and he is playing with confidence.
Daryl Shank in to serve. This is maybe the key point in the whole match right now. Good serve, dug out by Perez. Schilt, oh my.
Ooh.
Big swing by Holmes, and it's 28-25 BYU. Cook is out.
Big blocking, Josh Stewart is in though.
And serving is Jonathan Charette.
You look for, if it's a great pass, I see Stewart getting the ball. If it's anywhere that makes Ainsworth run, it's going to go to Yost or
Ainsworth
anybody here.
A long way. It's going to be a free ball chance for BYU. Chilton's and putting it away is Holmes. And the serve set it up, and it's match point Cougars.
Well, this is they got their work cut out for him here, but if they can get this ball back, Yost goes back to serve, and he can run points.
But they have to win this point. Ulrich digs it out. Ainsworth again has to go a long way. Yost on the swing, yes!
Whoa, and that's a huge kill because it was not a good pass. And again, they struggled with Charette's, slow motion jump float there. All right, here's the server they want back there. Yost, he's consistent, and he's been giving fits to the Cougars all night. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Good serve, dug out, Chilton with a long way. Andrew Stewart, pancake save, they keep it alive. Free ball chance for BYU.
Here comes
Look
Perez
out,
out of the back
Chilton.
row.
And BYU wins the match off the touch. As they win game 4, 30-26, they win the match 3-1. They go to 3-0. IPFW drops to 0-2, but what a match. The players and coaches congratulating each other at center court. And we'll take a break and come back and talk about this match. Number 1 beats number 10 in 4. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on CATV.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
You might be surprised to know the biggest dangers your pet faces are everyday dangers, like drinking from puddles, being boarded, squirrels in the park, and fleas and ticks. Being a pet is risky business. That's why it's important for every pet to receive a risk assessment and wellness exam twice a year. A risk assessment from your veterinary professionals helps create a unique risk profile for your dog or cat. Your veterinarian can then develop a disease protection plan that's right for your pet and the disease threats in your area. Best of all, twice-a-year exams help your veterinarian detect, treat, or prevent health problems before they become serious. So reduce the risks. Contact your veterinarian today for your pet's wellness exam, because being a pet is risky business. A message from the American Veterinary Medical Association and your local veterinarians.
Top-ranked BYU defeats 10th-ranked IPFW 3-1. Here are some of your final numbers. Kills favored the Cougars 68-59. Assists favored the Cougars 65-59. Digs favored IPFW 35-33. Total blocks favored BYU 15-11. Cougars had 4 players in double figures in kills. Yvonne Perez with 22. Charette with 17. Sorensen and Stewart with 10 apiece. And for IPFW, Jason Yost, a career high, 29 kills. CJ Macias with 14. And the freshman Oliver Cook with 8. And you got 30 seconds to talk about what a great match this was, Steve Florio.
That was a great match. You had some high flying, some heavy hitting. You had a lot of long rallies with some good defense, which you don't always see in men's volleyball. Some big blocks, great serves. It had it all. It was really a great volleyball match and a great match for the Dons. I mean, they lost, but hey, they went toe-to-toe with the #1 team in the nation.
And
you know what?
What else
and
can you say?
They could have won that game, too. It could have been a very different story. I mean, a point here, a point there.
And you think about game 2. Well, that's going to do it. Next up on CATV, basketball February 2nd at the Coliseum. IPFW Women's taking on North Dakota State. For Steve Florio, I'm Mike Moss. Thanks for joining us and almost 2,100 others. IPFW loses this match to top-ranked BYU 3-1. And we say good night from the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW.